Hello, you. My name's Jonti.
And I'm Brandon, also known as B Squared, and this is This Week in Ink.
Each week we'll be wading through the ink clouds to bring you the news. Sorry, I was drinking my coffee. I've got like another 20 seconds left. The all things Lorcana.
Coming up, we have our regular segments, Main Street Market Watch, and You Made Me Ink.
And we'll be discussing the latest topics and taking opinions from the live chat.
Hello, live chat.
Oh my goodness, sorry about the amazing intro there. We've got a lot to talk about today, Brandon.
We do have lots to talk about. Ursula's return is upon us, coming this weekend. The rest of the cards were revealed for the set last week. We have some more information on the Atlanta Challenge. It's the week after that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some fun stuff to do later in the stream, like a pack battle. We'll get into that a little bit later. That's pretty fun. I'm excited for that.
It's going to be very exciting. Before we really dive in, though, I'm sorry, Brandon, I am springing this on you. It was something I thought about before, but then forgot to mention.
It's fine.
We need to have a quick chat about this guy.
Okay.
All right. Ooh,
why?
It's interesting. Because on the Illuminateers stream just now, they didn't know how to say this character's name, and this came up a lot at the time when the card was revealed back in set 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we dealt with it, but I guess not. So we're going to go for it again, to the point where during the Illuminateers live stream, they brought on a token British person in Baker from Lorcana Villain to ask how to pronounce the name, and Baker was kind of wrong.
What?
Kind of.
Okay.
So, first of all, his first name is Haram. Okay, it's not Hiram. His name is Haram.
I always call him Hiram.
Yes, it's Haram. There's not really much else other way of saying that name. It's pretty. No matter how you pronounce it, no matter what your accent is, his name is. It's Hiram. It comes from. It's Hebrew and it means exalted one, I believe. Anyway. Sorry, I'm going to go a little deep here because my degree was in etymology and languages, and it's not very often I get to use that sort of stuff these days. It was kind of
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, because it's useless. It means nothing, right? Like it never comes up. But every now and again, occasionally when an Italian content creator reveals a Lorcana card, I'm like, oh, okay, I could probably work through this. So, Lorcana Villain Baker pronounced the last name as Flavisham. Okay. And he is right in as much as that is how the character himself would pronounce the name.
Okay.
Flavisham. And if you had what we would call a received pronunciation British accent, which is the sort of the posh British accent, the one you would think of if you think of the royal family or Downton Abbey, they would say Flavisham. But I would argue that in conversation, when he's not thinking about it, Baker and myself would pronounce it Flavisham, and we would be correct. Now, it's worth bearing in mind at this point that the word is made up for the movie. As far as I can tell, Flavisham does not exist outside of Basil and Baker Street, but it does come from. The actual word Faversham, which is a common surname in the UK. It's also a lovely little town in the UK as well. You said Flav. I'm sorry. You said Flav because that's what made me bring this up. So the correct pronunciation of the word Flavisham, basing it off of the derivative of Faversham, is you pronounce the a in fav the same way you pronounce the a in grass. So if you say grass and bath, you say Flavisham. If you say grass or bath, you say Flavisham. Now, there are two major accents that would give it a longer A. That is a Scottish accent, which is Hiram in the movie is Scottish. He would say Flavisham, and like a received pronunciation of sort of posh British would say Flavisham as well. There is a slight difference in that. The Scottish long A is more of a glottal. Flavisham in the same way that they would say grass and bath. It's sort of at the top of the back of the throat. And then a received pronunciation, British it's more of an open vowel sound. It's Flavisham, grass.
Flavisham.
I'm crossing the grass to go for a bath with Flavisham. That's how they would say it. But
Okay.
that's not correct unless you speak that way. And it would be strange for me, with a relatively sort of standard common man Midland accent, to say Flavisham, because I don't. I say garage and bath and glass. So I would say Flavisham, and it would be perfectly acceptable for you with a North American accent to also say, I would imagine, Flavisham in the same way that you say grass or garage or right?
Garage. I've never said garage.
Because the North Americans would say garage.
Garage, yeah.
Garage, yeah.
But I would say grass.
You would say grass, yeah. So how
Yeah.
you would say grass is how you should pronounce the A sound in Flavisham. Yeah. Maybe Baker did say it right. I think maybe Baker said it with a slight Scottish twinge because the character is Scottish, and then Liam heard that as, oh, Flavisham, very good, across the grass and the bath. Blah, blah, blah. So yes. Except the part where I said Flavisham. Perhaps I misheard and just heard you perhaps pronounce it with a slight Scottish brogue, as Hiram would do, as Hiram would do. Excuse me. I actually looked at the word as I said it wrong. The only real difference is the first name Hiram. No matter where you are in the world, you most likely would say Hiram. There's no real difference in the vowel sounds there. The only real notable difference is that he would add a slightly rolled R to it, having a Scottish brogue. So himself would tell you that his name was Hiram with a slight roll on the R.
Okay, I can get behind that.
And the thing that I love the most about this is I imagine to a North American ears, pretty much everything I just said sounded exactly the same. And that's what I love the most about the English accent, is that you can literally travel 15 minutes down the road and have a completely different language, and it'll probably sound quite similar anywhere else.
So I am like, in the same way that most Europeans, I think, struggle to understand the size of the United States and like how it's not crazy at all for us to take 4-hour trips, like places, or like drive an hour just to go get something to eat and then drive back. I am that same way about how many different accents there are in such a small space in England. And that's coming from somebody, by the way, that lives in Louisiana and is in a relatively similar scenario. I'm a little bit further north in Louisiana where it doesn't matter too much. I could go back home to central Louisiana about 2 hours away and everyone's going to sound about the same. But if I go about an hour south of where I grew up, there's a very strong accent change that you hear, from everybody else. And if you go even further than that, it just gets more and more Cajun or Cajun French as it goes further down. And it's still baffling to me that there are so many accents in such a small area over there.
I mean, but also probably within that area, you probably do the length and breadth of the UK and the
yeah, exactly.
500 accents. And I just point out, absolutely 100% not. You do not pronounce the A sound as in the A in flavor at all. There is no there's no correcting vowel in the second part of the world.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say
it is most definitely Flavisham or Flavisham, depending on how you would pronounce that A sound normally. Either's probably right. All right.
As a resident Southern American, and you know how well known we are about pronouncing things correctly. I've always said Hiram Flaversham, baby, and we just move on.
Hiram Flaversham.
Hiram Flaversham.
All right. Anyway, that's that. What were we meant to be doing today? Oh yeah. So there's been some announcements for side events happening at the DLCs coming up. Atlanta and Lille in France. We're going to mostly look at the Atlanta ones. We will cover the other ones as well, though, because we are a worldwide podcast, although most of Europe is asleep when we stream, apart from Baker, apparently.
Apart from Baker, who stays up late all the time, it seems like.
To be a night owl.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to chat while I just bring it up on the screen?
Sure. I mean, I can't say much other than I was really excited to see the side events that were coming. There's quite a few of them, to be honest. You can see here, there's a good list of them. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really eager to see how many people actually participate in the side events on day one on the
On
Saturday.
Saturday, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought the same.
because
Yeah.
in a typical best of 3 tournament or like 3-round Swiss tournament, it's usually pretty easy after a couple rounds to figure out like how likely or not it is that you're going to make top cut or make whatever.
Mhm.
So a lot of times you have people drop after round 3 or so. And 2-game format, I don't think is that way at all. I think like it could be, as long as you haven't lost, more than a couple games,
Mm.
you could win out at basically any point in the tournament and make it in a top cut. Or in this case, there's other promos we'll be competing for, like the Let It Go promo. That's we still don't know if it's top 64, if it's been expanded to top 128. We don't know like what placing you have to get to earn that. But like, I'm not gonna drop until I'm almost certain that I can't even get that promo, even if
Yeah.
I win out a couple games. So
And if nothing else was going on, I always say like stick it out, because even if you're not winning, if it's a case of like sitting around and moping around or having a few games, like I always say play it out, because
yeah.
one, it's good practice. You'll probably get a couple of wins towards the end of the day, which is like a nice little bonus, I guess. And also, this might sound ridiculous having talked up IDs so much over the last few weeks. Like the you dropping affects the rate of everyone else that you've played. So if you're going to be a good sport, it's worth sticking out and playing the games for the people who have beaten you. But that's just me. I never drop ever. I never drop. I'll take an ID, but I will never drop. I will always play it out, unless if it's something like this and it's clearly not going anywhere, and I can go and play some cool games with other formats and have some fun that way and get some prize points and stuff. I'm down for it. So yeah, I get it. So there's a list here. Yeah, you're right. Who's playing at 10:30 on a Saturday? Like the one that really blew my mind: 10:30 a.m. Saturday morning. Learn to play.
Yeah.
Who's going to this event?
I don't know.
So what's this Lorcana then?
And well, that's the thing, especially because we saw for so long these spectator badges. And so like we knew that like spectators were going to be allowed in some capacity, and people who didn't get tickets to actually play in the tournament were going to be able to show up and do something. But we didn't hear, like people couldn't actually buy spectator badges until a couple days ago, I think, until at least before last
when
week.
this came out, I think was the same time. That's correct, Espion, by the way. Yeah, the bonus points is now worth 1 instead of 3.
Yeah. So it's not like there's a bunch of people that are now going, oh, I guess I'll decide to go to Atlanta for the challenge because there'll be a bunch of other stuff to do and I can buy a spectator badge. Like if you were going to Atlanta, unless you live close to Atlanta, if you were going to Atlanta, you were already going to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I guess people that were deciding to go anyway, whether they had a ticket or not, can now get a spectator badge and maybe participate in some of this stuff. But
yeah, and as AJ points out here, like maybe friends and family, but like the first tickets were so swept up, right? I imagine most people have made plans. Oh, it's just me going.
I will say it's also in the same building that MomoCon, I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is going
like an
on.
anime con, right?
Yeah, it's like an anime con. And so maybe there'll be people from there that see all the Lorcana stuff and decide to buy a spectator badge and show up and learn to play. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But looking across the multiplayer challenge, that's pretty self-explanatory. I assume it's a full-way game. Whether you're paired up randomly or not, we don't know, but I imagine so. Sealed deck challenge, I'd be very keen to do that. I love me some limited play. I'm going to be doing a sealed deck challenge myself Friday night, hopefully, as long as I can get someone to cover my last 2 hours of my shift. Because I'm meant to finish at 7. I'm going to see if I can get away at 5 and play. 6 Inc. 3v3 team challenge. This is something else I would love to have a go at, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So this is 3 people. You're still playing 1v1, but your points are sort of totaled across the team of the 3 of you. But across the 3 of you, you have to play all 6 colors. You get to decide, I believe, what you're playing, and you get to take it with you. It's a constructed deck to all intents and purposes, and it uses set 4. It's only set 3 it's only set 3 is only the one that's limited for the actual
for the tournament.
Sort of main tournament itself, right?
Everything else set 4 will be legal. I'm very excited for that.
So that will be really good fun. basically across the 3 decks. So you have to pick who's playing Steel Song, who's playing Ruby Amethyst, and then who's left with
Emerald, Sapphire.
Emerald. Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah.
the thing. I don't know. Maybe some weird item deck that works. Who knows? What would you do? What would you do if you had to actually pick now, right now?
There's a couple. I think you have to decide what you're going to do with Sapphire or Emerald,
I
because
think
Sapphire
Sapphire,
can really only go with Ruby or Steel.
Ruby. Yeah,
And
I
like
think you do Steel Song, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald,
Emerald
Amethyst.
Amethyst. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be fun.
that's probably my 3 at the minute. Right now, that's probably the 3 I'd pick. Now, how much fun is that though? That's so cool. I love the idea of that. I wonder. I think you're probably still paired randomly through Swiss. There's a thing that that we do for 40K tournaments, which is it's a team tournament, and the team that's sort of on the play, so to speak, will be like, here are our 5 competitors, and here's what they're playing. And then the team that's on the draw gets to decide who plays who. So they can rock, paper, scissors it and be like, oh, look, there's an Eldari player and your orcs are really great against Eldari. So you play him, and you actually get to pair them up like that to give yourself the advantage that's your draw a card against their go first, basically. You get to choose the advantage against their turn 1. So,
Yeah.
something like that would be really good where you actually get to sort of pair off. But I imagine it's still random. Starter deck challenge, relatively self-explanatory. So constructing deck challenge, that's just a tournament, right? But
Yeah,
just with smaller stakes.
Right. I think it's just a normal tournament, but with set 4 legal. I don't know how many rounds like all these are going to be. I don't know if it says on the page.
Well, I imagine unless they're going to run at the same, like alongside each other, there's one starting at 12:30 and one starting at 2:30. So that must be 2 separate events. There's no way.
I'd have to think
done
so.
in 2 hours.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah,
especially because they're best of 3. Like
it does actually
best
point
of
that
3
out.
too. So,
and then Swiss draft. So just a draft tournament, that'd be really good fun. Villainous challenge. That's the board game, right? That's not anything we don't know about.
As far as I know, it's referencing the Villainous board game, which is super fun. I love playing the board game. Sure. I'd be kind of intimidated to play it at a tournament like this because I've only played it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And I remember at Gen Con there were like villainous tournaments that people were playing in, and I'm just like, I didn't realize people studied this game this hard.
Oh yeah, they're into it, eh?
Yeah, but it would be fun. I love the game.
And then, a learn to play demo. I don't know. It's because if you do really badly on Saturday, you might pop into the Sunday morning, learn to play, see what you
do. Maybe there's a couple things you missed.
I need to start over here.
No, I'm really excited for the sealed events that they're happening. I'm actually so when set 3 came out, I made a mistake in not just ordering the cards that I needed like the opening weekend. And I tried to play this game of, guessing when cards would go down, and it bit me in the butt because of it. And so this set, I'm like, I'm just buying what I need. Like opening weekend, I'm going to open all the product that I got for my videos. And then whatever I'm missing, I'm just going to buy. But now that I know the very next weekend, I can go play in a bunch of sealed tournaments and just open up as much like Ursula's Return as I want. Oh man, I'm tempted to just not buy everything that opening weekend and just like see what I can pull at Atlanta.
What do we have any idea of pricing for any of these events?
Not that I know of.
No. So you would think that they'll be well priced, right? Like you imagine they're going to run them at like a relative cost, like if it's a sealed event, it's probably going to cost you the end 6 packs, I imagine, and they'll sort of foot the prize in. I don't know, but I think that'd be really good.
And speaking of prizing, there's going to be a whole prize wall. I'm like super excited about that because I've never been to a tournament with this many people and like this scale. And I've seen prize walls from Pokemon and stuff that I followed back then, and they always look super fun. And I love the idea that both the people that aren't competing in the tournament at all, but also people who do poor in the tournament and decide to drop out, still have stuff they can play for. They can go play for the prize wall and try to get enough tickets to get something really cool that's there. So I know in a lot of other games, there's a lot of other merchandise already available for a lot of those games that you can sell. And there's like uncut sheets of cards and things like that. But I'm not expecting to have all of that here.
Just
If there
imagine.
is, can you imagine if there was an
Having
uncut sheet?
not advertised it at all, that
Yeah.
would be so good. Like literally Saturday morning, somebody's walking around vlogging, and the prize wall is like uncut sheets of Lorcana. Oh
Yeah.
my god, people would go insane.
I'm very eager to see what exactly they bring to the prize wall to actually have people
Yeah,
submit their tickets for. So I think that's going to be really fun.
that's really exciting stuff. Yeah, and then Lille is pretty similar, although there is one note, one change of note. This is Musha Report. Thank you to D Summon for being on it constantly.
Yes,
With this
yes.
stuff. My God, I can't imagine the guys slept.
Couldn't do this if it weren't for D-Summon.
So starter deck tournament, Ursula's return sealed deck challenge, so just a 6 booster packs. Booster battle. High stakes core constructed. So that's only into the Inclans.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think any of the side events for Lille are Ursula's return legal.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, only sets into the Inclans as well. Yeah, that's interesting. The worst takes it all. Oh, that's villainous. Okay, that's a good name for it though. And then core constructed, competitive core constructed. I don't know what the difference is.
I don't either, to be honest.
Swiss plus top cut 2 game. So there you go. The one is 3 game Swiss, best of 3 Swiss, and then the competitive copies the full tournament, which it's the 2 game format.
I want to know what the difference between the high stakes and core constructed is, because I don't.
High stakes core constructed.
I don't see a difference.
I don't know. You abseiling while you do it. I don't know. I don't know what it could be. Team event and then some multiplayer as well, which is good fun. So
yeah.
Booster battle sounds fun, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I'm familiar with these from Pokemon, and they're just super fun. For anybody that's unfamiliar, this is what I'm assuming it is. You open a pack of Inklands.
Mm-hmm.
You only have those 12 cards in your deck. You shuffle it up. And I think it says somewhere that it's like you draw 4 cards.
You draw 4, yeah.
And you play. And that's the thing.
And then the first one to get to 10 lore wins, and we're pretty sure that if you empty your deck, your discard gets shuffled up, and you keep going basically.
Yeah, that's what I've seen in other formats like this in other games. So I would assume it would be the same.
Do you want to give it a go?
I think it would be really fun to try on stream.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay,
we went and got a pack each today.
Yes.
We were just going to open them, but then we thought about it. We were like, let's do a booster battle. Let's actually play a game.
Yeah, actually, I went to my LGS and forgot that they're closed on Monday.
Oh no!
so I had to go to Walmart and.
Oh no! So you have to buy a blister.
Which, by the way, can I just take a second to say how awesome it is that I can just walk into Walmart and be like, "Oh, I need a pack of Lorcana. Let me just go buy a pack of Lorcana real quick." Like 8 months ago, we couldn't do that. We couldn't even.
No, it'd be hit and miss around here, to be honest, as to whether you could do that. Yeah, it would be hit and miss. What if one of you hit an enchanted? We'll know when we draw it, because you're meant to shuffle the deck without.
I was about to say, we're not looking at the cards when we open the pack. We're just opening the pack. We're sleeving it all up, and we're gonna be.
We're sleeving.
I'm sleeving. I don't want to shuffle these cards just normal.
Sleeves? What's in this box?
I mean, you don't have to sleeve. I was going to sleeve.
I can't sleeve. I've got no sleeves. No sleeves. Never mind. I'll be all right. I won't pull an enchanted anyway. All right. Let's move over to game mode.
Let me get this going.
Boom.
And then see if this works. Hey.
Mine didn't work.
Let's try that. Actually, I'm going to move my camera because it's going to be a weird angle.
There we go. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Oh, look at you.
I'll be honest with you.
I don't have one of those packs.
I purely do this for the joke. It's actually just an empty box with one pack in. We have a very strict no product leaves the store until release day, so it's just the empty box that I brought home for that gag.
Yeah, imagine we just opened up a Ursula's Return pack here.
Show off, yeah.
Pretty
It's
funny.
just an empty box, just for the memes.
Let me grab 12 sleeves out of
All
here.
right. I'm gonna. So which way do we open this so we don't see it? It's gonna be like that way. Yeah.
Whatever.
And take that.
Hold on. You're gonna re-show me all of that. So I just want to show everyone this is a sealed thing. I know that my trope is being very lucky with packs, but
this would be so good if you pulled an enchanted and you just.
I know that's what I'm like
turn 8.
waiting to just like. If that does happen, I'm going to try really hard not to react, and then just play
and
it.
then play it.
Yeah, okay,
right.
so which direction is it?
Yeah,
is it
you just take those 2 off the top, and then you've got a face down pile. Then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to
shuffle them.
Sleeving these up.
Oh, I'm going in raw. Oh man, this is an enchanted in here. I'm going to freak.
I was about to say. Can't wait for you to get the enchanted.
I'll scuff to hell. So good. Can we mulligan?
I don't know.
Do we know what we're mulliganing for?
I was going to say we don't know what's in our deck. I think it doesn't really matter. I guess you could throw away the expensive cards if you wanted to.
Yeah, because you've still got an ink and stuff, right? This is going to be a joke. There's no way this game works. There's no way this works.
So I have an Inkland starter deck that's sleeved close by that I just shuffle just like while I'm doing like editing videos and stuff as sort of a fidget.
Yeah.
And I just like took a starting hand of 4 and just like played
is it doable?
just to see like if it was doable. And it's definitely interesting just because you don't have as much like ink to work with. Like you have 4 cards in your hand, so by the second or third turn you don't have any more cards in your hand. You've only got 3 ink in your inkwell. So
I'm gonna roll. What have you got to die?
Oh yeah 1 or 2?
2.
Okay.
I got a good roll. I got 10.
I got 8.
I'll go first.
Okay, give this a good shuffle, a good cut.
Okay.
Right.
Wow. I mean, this is playable, I guess.
2, 3, 4. Okay. Are we mulliganing?
If you want to.
Okay. This is not looking good for me.
I might mulligan.
We're definitely getting rid of this.
I'm gonna mulligan 2, actually.
I think we have to get rid of this. Yeah, I'm gonna mulligan 2. Okay. Give this a good shuffle. Chat, I want you to vote. Who do you think is going to win this pack battle?
Clearly me.
You think it's going to be Jonti or it's going to be me? Vote 1 for Jonti, 2 for Brandon.
There we go. Okay, might be better with 2 packs. Maybe. I kind of like the fun of it, though. All right.
Okay. I'm not mad at this.
Oh, it's me first, right?
Yeah, you're first. Well, you won the roll. I guess you can decide.
I'm going to ink a Kit Cloud Kicker,
okay,
Navigator, and pass.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to draw for turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just play out like normal now, I think.
We're going to draw for turn. I'm going to ink a Rise of the Titans, and we're going to play a Diablo.
Oh, you had the 1 drop.
I had the 1 drop.
What's the chance of you having a Maleficent in there? All right, I'm going to draw for the turn. Oh my god, this is expensive cards. There's other 6 drop, Mr. Snoops. Okay. But this is going to win me the game, baby.
Uh-oh.
Sir Hiss.
Oh, it's Sir Hiss. That's going to be tough to beat.
Evasive. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to ready, set, draw. We're going to go ahead and ink a quick patch because that card's useless. That was my foil, by the way. So
a healer location.
Yeah, it's remove up to 3 damage from chosen location.
Oh yeah, that'll come in clutch.
That was my foil. So no enchanted for me, chat. And I don't really like that evasive, so we're gonna play Baboon.
Oh, no.
We're gonna get rid of Sir Hiss.
He's always got it.
And we're
back battles.
And we're gonna quest for 1, and we're gonna pass. That was such a good card.
Okay, we're gonna ink the queen.
Okay.
4-3.
That's pretty good.
I know, but it's not as good as Helga.
Oh, there she is. That is pretty
Coming
good.
for you.
That's really good. Okay.
Right, go ahead.
We're going to ready, set, draw for turn. Okay. This is
10 law
interesting.
feels like it's so far away.
It does. It feels forever away. We're going to ink a Pluto, and we're going to exert 2 to play a genie cramped in the
that's
lamp.
a great card in this format that I'm just discovering for the first time right now.
And we're going to quest for 1, going up to 2, and then we're going to
What's that, Diablo? Is it 2-1?
Yeah, it's a 2-1. 2-1, 1 lore.
Okay. I'm going to draw.
What'd you get?
Oh, no. I can't play anything. My hand is so good. I can't play anything. All right, well, Helga into Diablo, I guess.
Okay, she'll take 2.
Yeah, she will. Go ahead.
All right.
You want to see my hand, man? It's insane.
I do. We're going to have to talk about this. Oh, no. Okay.
If you've got another baboom.
I don't have another baboom. But
Did you get Maleficent?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't draw an ink. I wanted to draw an ink.
Me neither. I'm inked out.
Okay.
Non-ink is going to do
okay. This might still be good, though. We're going to do 3. We're going to play a Lyle Tiberius Rourke.
Oh, jeez.
And we're going to give, when you play this character, we're going to give Helga Reckless for the turn.
Okay.
And we're going to quest for 2.
Okay.
It's going to go up to 4. And then whenever one of your other characters is banished, each opponent loses 1 lore. So.
Oh, yeah. So she's got to go into Genie.
Yep.
She's got to go into Genie. The no lore I have.
And we'll pass.
All right. So she readies. What?
Okay.
Oh no. I'm gonna ink that. Oh.
There's so many emotions happening. I have no idea what's going on. Did you get the shift?
Yeah. I did.
Oh no!
It's insane. But the shift dies.
Yep, the shift still dies.
All right. Well, okay. So Helga into Genie then, I guess.
Yep, and
they
they're both
trade.
banished.
I don't have any lore to banish. I'm just going to play this foil legendary.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! I mean, that's kind of scary. You could have Chernobog in your hand for all I know.
Pass the turn.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
I could. Well, if I had a Chernobog, it would have been a hell of a pack.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna ink a Miss Bianca.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna exert 4 to play Genie, supportive friend.
This is insane.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I just quest for 1.
Oh yeah,
you get a 5.
Giving Mickey Reckless doesn't make a difference, does it?
Well, I think it's just on play.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
You play this character. Yeah. It's just on play, and now when my other characters are banished, you lose a lore.
Okay,
pass. And I'm out of cards.
Let's see what
we are saying when we run out of deck, we just reshuffle the discard.
The discard goes in, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is a banger. Exert 2.
Oh no.
Helga Sinclair.
Okay, Helga's in.
2. Mr. Smee.
Ooh. That's a pretty good draw.
Go ahead.
Okay. We're gonna ready, set, draw for turn. Let's see. So we're definitely gonna quest for 1 with Genie, and then we're gonna put him, or shuffle him back into our deck, and then draw 3. So we're gonna just do a quick shuffle. Actually, I think there's only 3 cards left in the deck. So
you might draw the Genie again.
So
there's just 3 cards there.
Yeah. There was only 3, so I actually didn't even need to shuffle. Oh, okay. This is good. We're going to ink a dive bomb.
Okay.
and we're gonna play Don Carnage.
Oh wow, pretty good. That's pretty good.
And then I don't think we care. I think we just quest for one.
And both your things are what now? What are the stats on them?
So Lyle is a 2/4. Don Carnage is a 4/4.
So neither of them Helga kills.
What's
oh no, I like
Helga's a 4/4.
Yeah,
You
no,
could, yeah. They have to be damaged
They have
first.
to be damaged as well. Helga's crap. All right.
What?
Turn. What is this?
I'm gonna have to shuffle. Oh, never mind. I guess I'll have to wait.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna pay the 3 to put down Gustav. He comes in exerted, and he doesn't ready at the start of my turn.
Okay.
And I have to challenge something to ready him. I have to banish something. I have to banish something to ready him. And I quest for 1. Quest for 5, I guess. Gets me halfway there, I suppose. What are you at? 6?
I'm at 7.
Oh, you're at 7? 8, 9, 10. So you win then.
Next turn. Yeah, you have to banish something.
Which I... Oh, okay.
You can with
Helga goes into Lyle then.
Okay, and she'll take 2 damage.
Okay. And then I quest for 3 then.
Okay.
Where's my 3? And then Smee will take 1.
Okay.
And then Gustav readies? I may ready this character. Go ahead.
Okay. We're going to ready, set, draw. We're going to have to shuffle this discard to draw again. So we'll just do this a couple times. And then we'll draw for turn. We're going to quest for 2, putting me at 9. And then we're going to play Lyle Tiberius Rourke again. And we'll give Helga Reckless.
Okay.
Yes. Good luck.
All right. He's a 4/4 evasive, eh?
Yeah.
I've got to find something in here that gives Helga evasive. Here it comes. Are you ready?
You're just gonna draw a Long Came Zeus off the top.
Here we go. That's not it. I think you've got it. Hold on. How much lore can I get to here? 1, 2, 3, 4 puts me at 7. Huh. Helga can't hit anything. Yeah, I think you got it. I'm going to quest for 4 and go to 7. And that's it. Past. Well, and I'll play Nutsy too.
That was the card off the top.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yep. Well, ready, set, draw, and we're gonna quest with Don Carnage for the victory.
Do we see your whole deck there?
Yeah, you saw my whole deck. It was.
I've still got one.
Or no, never mind. So I actually misplayed. I could have played Jim. I could have played the Jim Hawkins last turn also, but I think that was the only other card you guys didn't see.
I have one here.
All right. What is it?
Slightly. It's evasive.
Oh, it's evasive. Yeah, it's the evasive card you needed.
I wanted 2 away, really, I guess.
Wow.
Oh, how fun is that?
That was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, half the time, I mean, you're looking for good cards, right? Because you want to win. But then when I saw the rarity symbol, I was like, okay, was that my first or second rare?
Yeah. You're wondering what else could be in there, eh?
And then I saw the foil. So I guess I don't know what order these came in, but the order of the pack.
The rarity always increases as you go. So
yeah, but both of mine are super rare.
Oh, right. You just got a banger pack, eh?
Yeah.
Lyle putting the work in there with the genie. Foil legendary, though. It's not the
that was a pretty good pull.
I'll take it.
It's a pretty good pull. Yeah, I didn't get anything crazy. Just the. I mean, I got.
And how annoying! That's why I was screaming. By the way, like how annoying that I couldn't. That like I
shift the Helga. Yeah. I was like,
It's
what the
insane.
heck was in your hand?
Yeah,
That
why can he be that excited about a random pack?
I was like, does he just have an enchanted he can't play? Like, I thought that's where you were going.
That was great. I think that.
That
Oh,
was
and
good
that's gonna end
fun.
up a thing that we do every week, innit?
I mean, I'd be down. That'd be pretty fun. We already open a pack every week. Why not?
Yeah, I'd rather
Why
do
not,
that, to be honest,
why
than
not do
just
a pack
open it.
battle? It makes it more exciting, especially when you pull something crazy.
That's pretty good, yeah. And honestly, I mean, that is probably the purest form of limited. But I just love how limited makes you reevaluate cards constantly. You know, like you just constantly re-looking at stuff.
Oops, here we go. Yeah.
Really fun way to open a pack, isn't it, Josh? You should definitely try it. It's really good fun. We do
that was so
all the
fun.
time. And honestly, it just hadn't come to my mind that you could do it with Lorcana.
Me neither, really.
And I saw it on that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we could totally try that. That'd be fun."
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm used to it from other games that I've played, but it just never really occurred to me that it could still work in this game, But it's like if you can get to 4 ink or 5 ink, that covers most
You're probably okay,
most things.
right?
Yeah,
probably okay. Yeah, it's good fun.
Oh, that was really fun.
All right, where are we? Okay, we have a You Made Me Ink.
Yes, we do. The You Made Me Ink for this week is Stitch Rockstar. Jonti, why don't you explain why it's the You Made Me Ink this week?
Specifically, the promo enchanted version.
Yes.
The idea behind You Made Me Ink originally was our way of doing a card of the week, but rather than it being a card that we've enjoyed playing, it's a card we've not enjoyed playing against. Now, obviously, I have no real issues playing against Rockstar Stitch.
Yep.
But I thought it was more so interesting to just have a little think and talk about how the sort of set championships have settled with us now after a week or two, and specifically how hard we worked to get one of these. We both able to get one. Brandon got a few, and Matt as well. I was lucky enough just to get a Stitch. Since the last set championships you took part in, how many games of Lorcana have you played? Not excluding the pack battle.
Oh my god. Well, I haven't even been to League, I think, since the set champs. Part of that's been scheduling conflicts with us. But other than that, I've probably played 6, 7 games of Lorcana in the past 2 weeks.
How about the 2 weeks before that?
Good Lord. I probably played at least 50 games, maybe 60 games of Lorcana before set champs, prepping for set champs.
Yeah. And there's similar sort of numbers. I think I played Lorcana twice since Franz, you have been offering every day, but Franz is kind of a machine when it comes to Lorcana. Like,
so
want to not play.
part of it is not. It's a mixed bag of one being exhausted after set champs. I did 3 of them, like Jonti said. And there were definitely a couple days after that where I was just like, I'm not touching Lorcana. Like, I'm taking a break. I'm doing something else. But also, I spent so much time not making content for my YouTube channel and like working on my brand and interacting with the community. Just prepping for set champs because I wanted a Stitch so bad. And it kind of put me behind. There was about a month that I didn't put out any videos. And so now I'm trying to catch up with Ursula's Return, and it's not helping that Atlanta is landing basically right when Ursula's Return is kicking off and after set champs, because I basically only have 2 weeks to practice for Atlanta and make a bunch of content to put out. So part of it has not necessarily been that I like can't play. It's just that I'm prioritizing content over playing right now.
How do you think it would help if Atlanta allowed set 4? Like purely for you, just because you're having to sort of focus on set 4 regarding content. Like, would it help, do you think? Or do you're struggling to sort of keep those areas sort of compartmentalized?
It's definitely difficult to like do both, right? Like, I'm spending a lot of time. I was talking in a Discord that we're in today that like I'm constantly throughout the day thinking about opening lines of just set 3 decks against other set 3 decks, trying to think of like the deck that I want to play and how it best plays into other decks that I expect to play into Atlanta. And obviously none of that is set 4. But at the same time, I'm writing up videos on the cards that I think are the best in Ursula's Return and starter decks and how good those are, and trying to analyze those cards. And so it's very difficult to keep both of those separated. I think it would probably be a little bit easier, specifically for me, if Atlanta had set 4. Not so much because that means I have an excuse to play more, but because everybody else is already testing set 3, and I have a couple friends and a couple people I can reach out to and just be like, hey, what have you had success with? And then I can just kind of take the work that they've done and then just bring that, because the biggest thing for me about the set 3 meta that we'll be playing in Atlanta is it's not exactly solved, but there's a lot of things that like you already know. We already know how a lot of the matchups pair into each other, and it's really important to understand certain mulligans for certain matchups and how you approach even your own deck and your own mulligan on the play versus on the draw. Versus if we go into a completely fresh Wild West, the beginning of set 4 meta, who knows?
You could be up against all sorts.
Yeah, you could be up against anything, and a lot of that isn't going to be solved. And although it's important to think about some of that stuff for your deck, I feel like it's less important because it's just going to be impossible to predict what you're going to play against.
Yeah.
I am happy. I will say and go on the record that I am happy that Atlanta is only set 3, just because doing a set 4, event this large a week after set 4 was released would be really difficult to get cards.
You'd basically you're definitely giving the advantage to people who have the money to buy them. Basically, really, like for a lot of it, I think.
Yeah.
Just to be able to buy all the play sets of legendaries at that sort of inflated pre-order or release weekend price, I mean, I have a buddy who's playing in Chicago, and he's constantly like, I've got no idea what it's going to look like, set 4, man. It's insane. And that's, even a few weeks more after that. So it would even be wilder, I think, for Atlanta. So it is the right decision. I was just curious as to how you felt about it as somebody who is having to kind of focus on both for the different areas of your interest within the game,
The one thing that is nice is that, like I said, the set 3 meta is not solved. Set 3 meta has been perfect, in my opinion. Like the fact that it's literally the end of set 3 this Friday, it rotates or we get set 4. And we're still deck building. Like we're still analyzing decks and trying to figure out what the best thing to bring to a tournament is crazy. Speaks volumes of just how good set 3 is. And is really fun. Like I think it's so fun that for 3 months we've been deck building and trying to figure out, how to adapt to the changes that are happening in the meta. So it's still really fun, and it makes it slightly easier because I don't know. It's hard to say which one's easier, but like one of the benefits of it being just set 3 is I already know like the handful of decks that I can bring and have success with. And it just kind of comes down to which one am I most comfortable in and believe in most.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. So with the Stitch Rockstar Nair behind us and everyone put in 2 pretty full-on weeks into it and then kind of getting burnt out a little and having to take a little bit of time off, do we feel like we're going to continue that rotation of effort and work for this?
Personally, okay, well, hopefully I don't get canceled for this take. The deciding factor for me for that question is how expensive are these cards selling for? Like it really just comes down to that. I think the card looks really awesome. I think it looks really cool. I'll definitely participate in the set championships at my locals that I go to every week, and the places that are like convenient to go by. But if they're not, if they're selling for $100 a pop, I'm not gonna grind 4 or 5 set championships just to earn these. Frankly, I have better stuff I can do with my time. I'm constantly fighting for time between like the YouTube channel and like practicing Lorcana and then other real life stuff that I have to do. And so, if they're worth going to, sure, I'll go do 3 or 4 and I'll try to earn them, and hopefully they can pay for my trip to Worlds or Nationals, or maybe help me with my Enchanted collection I'm trying to collect. But otherwise, I mean, it was a slog, man. And I only did 2 each, or I did 2 the first weekend and 1 the second weekend. And but after the 2 the first weekend, I remember going into that week like, and I was exhausted having played both days like that.
Yeah, it was full on. I mean, my stance with these is still the same. I want one. That's it. Like I just need one. I'm very aware of my ability. I crack a little under pressure, even at this sort of level. And like if I can bring home one of these, I'm happy. Somehow managed to, yeah, I'll sell one of them.
Hmm.
But I'm not necessarily going to be sort of farming them. Like some people have to sort of fund, like you say, products or what have you. I have no. Sorry, it sounded like I had a bit of an issue with that. Then I don't. I go and win 10 of these, man. I don't care. We've talked about this a lot, and I don't think we need to do the loop on that again.
Yeah.
But me personally, I want one for my shelf. That's it. Like, and that's where I'm happy. So. I would like to play a few more. I only did 2 this time because of work commitments. And one of them was like a Tuesday night for 16 sweaty Yu-Gi-Oh players. So I would like to do a few more, like the one I played in on Sunday, which is the one I placed in, which was a lot more of a fun environment and very not casual. Everyone was still there, playing hard to win. But it was it was a fun day, as was the one I ran. But obviously I can't play in that one. So I'd like to do a couple more, maybe one like Saturday and both Sundays, and then run my one on a Saturday, something like that. So I don't mind it taking up 2 weekends. Whether or not I can put the amount of sort of practice time I did into the first one again, that's probably where I fall down, honestly, because it was just a lot of hours. Like I don't enjoy playing digitally, and I don't play digitally very often. So it was, for me, it was going out and like getting games in with friends and just sort of sitting and grinding games. And it was really good, really useful, really helped. But also, it takes up days, it takes up time.
It
takes up
does.
video time and whatever else. So yeah.
It does. And like, even if I end up going to the same amount, probably no matter what, I'm not spending the amount of time that I spent on the first one. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, it's no secret. Stitch is a favorite character of mine. It's like one of my favorite Disney characters. So the first Enchanted specifically was special. It was a Nicholas Cole art. I love the stuff that Nicholas Cole does. It was my favorite character, one of my favorite cards for the game. And so it was just like super important that I got that specific promo. Love Ursula, love everything that's happening in Ursula's Return, but like I just am not that. I don't care that much to get this Ursula Return card, not because it's a bad looking card or anything, but like it's just not as special to me.
It doesn't, it doesn't speak to you as much. I actually think it's gorgeous. I think the art is incredible.
Yes.
I think I actually think the card is good. I think it's similar to Rockstar in that it's a really great, like, fun build around card. But it's not like a staple. I don't think. This Ursula might see as like a 2 in the Emerald Amethyst decks, maybe as like just like a little juicy top end to it. But Rockstar, people aren't running out. People weren't playing Rockstar decks to win the Rockstar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a good card and it's very playable and you can build really fun decks out of it and you see it a lot at leagues and stuff. But like it's not a real sort of high level competitive playable card, but it's good enough that it ticks that box. But then you're right, it's also great character, great art, first one, unknown quantity, not as in the actual physical number of them, just the first one of these. Nobody knew what sort of power level was going to be at these events. Nobody knew that people were going to drive around for them. Like it was a bit of a, really sort of like grabby moments. And I don't think we'll ever quite hit that. I was talking to somebody at my store the other day about this who didn't have the best experience at their set championships. They enjoyed the one they did for us, but they traveled to another one. It was sort of a bit of a sort of oppressive vibe, and just in general, they weren't a fan of like how everyone just sort of like fell onto these and just only obsessed with them and only thought about the game competitively for the period leading up to it. And I was like, well, what do you think is the fix then? How do you think we sort of make it a little bit more casual or, a little bit more friendly or whatever? And he probably said the only right answer, which is just give it time. Said this Ursula will be worth $500 and the next one will be worth 400 and the next one will be worth 3. And in a year or two, just the casual players who want these will be playing for him, and he's probably right, honestly.
Well,
We run these set championships for Magic. I had 8 people out for the one the other day. The card sells for like $50. Like it's probably how these will settle eventually. It's a while off, I think, but eventually.
Yeah, that's what I heard when we first were told about set champs and saw the card, was specifically that this kind of stuff exists in other games. And I do wonder if the prices will hold slightly better value just because it's a Disney IP. And like, I'm sure the IP in Magic is cool to some people, but like it just doesn't speak to near the audience that Disney does. But yeah, like especially like now that we're seeing larger competitive events coming also with Atlanta and Lille, and then there will be others. I don't know if there's one that falls close to this set championship, because I don't think we know exactly when this set championship is.
No.
But it's like, if I'm practicing for a set championship versus, the Disney Lorcana challenge, probably way more focused on the Disney Lorcana challenge than I am whatever's happening here. Cool. And you're probably still playing set 4 regardless, but like, I'm not going to go out of my way to exhaust myself over set championships if I know I have a challenge coming up,
But also that's like the challenges are for a few thousand people, right? Like if this set championship falls around the same time as the Las Vegas challenge, that ain't affecting Southern Ontario.
Yeah, probably not.
Like people from around here aren't being like, right, can't focus on the Ursula, I'm off to Vegas. Like there's probably 2 people in Ontario that are doing it,
But it does make me wonder how many of the like very competitive set championship grinders might stop showing up to set championships, stop showing up to as many because they're more focused on a larger tournament that's coming, because that was the big like upset of the first set championships, right? Was the same couple people going from store to store, and there was nothing else to do. This is the highest level of competitive that they could play officially, and it certainly they were certainly incentivized to with the way that Stitches were reselling. But I wonder, like you mentioned, if the cards get cheaper and cheaper as time goes on, and there's more flashy, more important competitive events to play in, whether or not some of those competitive players will stop caring and stop showing up, and it'll become a little bit more of a casual competitive sort of thing.
Yeah. But saying all that, this might change your mind. How much?
The championship mat, huh?
You want to get hold of one of these. Brandon, tell us how much you love this mat.
I don't love this map. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to beat around the bush. It took you 10 starts of a sentence before because you were so worried about people, and now you're just like, yeah, I hate this.
I know chat's going to be upset because everybody's talking about how great the Ursula card looks.
Yeah,
it does. The art
is so good.
the art is great, but I don't know.
Playmat is amazing.
This playmat is not. I know. I'm sorry.
Way cooler.
I disagree. Stitch. I disagree. This is where I'm just basically repeating what I said earlier. Stitch is my end all be all. There probably will not be another championship card that gets released that will speak to me the same way that Stitch does. Maybe if Helga gets a playmat and a card,
set championships 58.
But like, I don't know. It's all preference, right? This playmat is very busy. I kind of don't like that.
I don't want to manage to ride under the radar here. I hate this mat. I'm so, I'll stick by you here, Brandon, buddy. I'm going to go against chat. I'm just watching the numbers of viewers trickle down.
Yeah, everybody just left.
I don't like it. It's way too busy. There are 6 different fonts on it. None of the logos are lined up within their own corner properly. It's just, and they've had to do these like splodges of ink behind the logos to make them readable. And I'm not into it. I'm sorry. I would much rather this just be that art on a playmat.
Yes. So that was the thing. KDF said something that I really like. I like this art. I think it would look great on a poster. It's just, it's not something that I want on a playmat. It's way too busy for me to also be throwing cards that also have a bunch of other stuff all over it. Like, I feel like I would get a headache playing with this mat.
Difficult to read. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all subjective, and
Right.
there will always be something that will like it's always going to be obtain sort of one people are going to want this because it's the champion mount, right? It's not, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's you're
Yeah.
holding this because you won the
You
tournament
won.
you're at, so
Yeah.
yes, personally I prefer the Stitch Rockstar one. I prefer the ones with less writing on them. I'm not a huge fan of the writing. Give me something that's just little in the corner that just says champion or whatever, just so it's sort of provable, but let the art
Yeah.
speak. And
There's kind of a lot of text on this one. And I can't stress enough. I really like the art. I like that the Lumineers are there, like fighting Ursula. I think it's a really, really cool scene and a depiction of the story. I'm really excited to see more stuff like this. And I don't know how much of a story person you are, Jonti, but like I do enjoy seeing a lot of it and watching it develop. It's not the playmat for me.
Yeah. As far as lore, I mean, I've said this before. Like, I'll take it all in. I dig it when it rocks up on cards and any sort of videos or blog posts or anything they put out. I'll consume it all, but that's about it, really. I'm not too fussed on any more than that. But it's good, and I hope we get something as part of this set release. I feel like there should be some sort of narrative. We had that one story post, didn't we, the once about the ink flooding out of the building. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think we need like a couple of those. Like, describe to us how we defeated Ursula. Describe what that looked like. What happened?
Yeah.
Just what does she get hold of the crown? What's that item that they mentioned in a few of the flavor texts that they're trying to get hold of
it was just
crown. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it was just a crown.
What happens?
I don't know.
Where's that? And who's and what? And it looks like the next story looks like Hades. And if you look, there's lots of mentions of mountains. And there's mountains in art.
Yeah.
And I think we're moving from the sea up to the mountains next, and we're heading up to
that'd be fun.
I think that's where we're going next. But give me something. Let me don't have it be 6 sentences across half a dozen res. Give me a something to read on the toilet.
Well, I will say I do also like that. I like that some of the stories being told through the cards, and that even on the card art, there's like scenes that are being acted out that I think a lot of people actually miss, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a lot more of that this set than I think we've had before.
Yeah, but I also really like you said, a more written out, a more expanded on story that I can sit down and read, like an actual story. So I'd love to see more of that, definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So next thing we want to look at then, the Main Street Market Watch. We don't do these often. We're not really the sort to just sort of constantly keep updating prices. It's more just when I think there's something, when we think there's something sort of worth mentioning. And I wanted to take a couple of cards that are adjusting in value because of the set coming out soon. So the first one is, let me move over to here. I don't know why I'm big. How's that? There we go. So for Main Street Market Watch, our first one then is Ursula Power Hungry. Still sort of sitting at a few bucks for a legendary, but just started to see this. Feels like this is updated and come down lower. I'm sure this graph was high before, but I have started to see a little bit of a plateau and a slight increase. And I think it's because of Hades. I think it's because of the forecasted Hades from the set that would let you play this out as a Floodborn in a deck that doesn't mind that color and is already running a few Ursulas with the Deceiver and Deceiver of All. I think the big problem with this still, though, is that it's Medusa-able.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I know it's become a meme in the Lorcana community, like, dies to Medusa, but like there's a reason it's become a meme. There's a reason that people are annoyed of hearing about it, because like, as much as Madame Mim Fox was a set defining card, Madame Mim or Madame Medusa is a set defining card, because every single card that costs 5 or even 4 sometimes, that has 3 strength or less, you immediately have to think, does this die to Medusa?
What am I getting out of this before turn 6?
Yeah.
And the thing is, Fox is a very sort of meta defining card because it's making you think about how you play your turn 3. Medusa is a meta-defining card because cards just aren't making it into the deck because of her. That's the difference.
So it's funny you say this because I wrote this in a script that I have for a video today before the show. Like,
Mhm.
Tragic Beast was the best, if not one of the best cards that came out of Rise of the Floodborn and was played in every single steel deck. And it did not take long at all for what was one of the best cards in the game to become a card that nobody even plays in steel anymore, or hardly anybody plays in steel, because he dies to Medusa. He doesn't do anything when he's played, and he
Yeah.
can, and the immediate next turn, your opponent can play Medusa
They
and
always have
banish
it.
the beast. Yeah, and they always have it. That's the thing. They absolutely always have it.
Yeah. Scott here says, question, Medusa or A Whole New World better to be banned?
I don't think, I've said this multiple times, I don't think Whole New World needs to be banned. I
No, I
think
know.
it's fine where it's at. Medusa's maybe getting close to that point. I still, oddly enough, don't feel like she needs a ban. I've always said if there were ever, and I think now there's 2 cards in this list, but if there was ever a card to ban, it would be Madame M. Fox, and now probably Madame M. Medusa, but or Madame
Medusa,
Medusa.
yeah.
I keep saying
Yeah,
Madame.
Medusa is the only one that's really on the radar for me. Like, Fox is very, very good, and it is making you like. I did an Amethyst set review the other day, and every 3-drop that came along in Amethyst, I was like, yeah, it's not Fox
It's not
though,
Fox. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's one problem, that like the slot. There's already a very good card in that slot. I could argue that pretty much any 1-drop in Emerald isn't Curse Merfolk. Maybe that new Pascal might see play if the big one coming down shiftable is happening, but there's a good few of those. Mary on 5 in Ruby is very difficult.
Yeah, that
to
was
beat.
another one that I thought about.
But all of those, it's there is something better in this color that I can play in my deck. With Medusa though, she's just shutting down. There are 9 of the 12 legendaries in this set are killed by her.
That's
insane.
That's the biggest difference for me, is like both Maui and Fox, I think, are in a similar vein of like, they are very strong cards. They're overstated for their costs. They are just better than a lot of other cards that are in those colors and at those ink costs. But you can play around them. You cannot exert your characters on 5 or on 3, or whenever you expect a Fox or Maui to come down. Medusa is outright keeping cards from being played, because like there is no counterplay other than not playing the card, which I kind of don't love, because then there's just more cards that don't see play, and like I want as many cards as possible to see play, and as many cards.
I want every deck to look a little bit different. Let
Yeah.
people sort of flavor them up and stuff. Sorry, people in the chat saying he means Pegasus. What did I say?
You said Pascal. You meant Pegasus.
Pascal. Yeah. I meant Pegasus. The better Pascal.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So yes, no, you're right. It's just shutting down so many fun things. The amount of just new legendaries, or just good cards in general, and you're like, but it's a 5 cost with 3. So who was it who pointed it out? Lorcana Lizard, Jonti, your least favorite mechanic will become relevant because of Medusa, and there is a chance that I assume you mean strength modifiers. There's a lot of them in the set. There's a lot of strength modification there. I think the Lumiere could see play, just to be like, I'm going to sit here and die to Medusa so that everything else doesn't get hit by her. Basically, yeah.
There's Lumiere, and there's also Ling. People haven't. I don't think people have talked as much about Ling either, and he gives +1 strength to heroes. In Steel, and there's a lot of really great heroes that are already being played.
And again, ones that are struggling otherwise, like
yes.
Robin Hood and Tragic Beast and all those. Yeah.
So maybe we'll see a resurgence, and Medusa won't be as big of a problem. That's one thing that's like, to give credit where credit's due, the designers have done pretty okay at balancing the game with a new set. And it's not like they watched us play set 3 and they said, oh crap, we need to add characters that give other characters strength. Like, this was designed months ago and was planning way before we even knew how to play the game. But it's really awesome to see, because set 1 versus set 3 versus now and versus set 4 have looked completely different. And I think it's really awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great. But you're right. Like be prepared was very prevalent in set 1 and 2,
Mhm.
and then we got Ursula and Bare Necessities, and that was enough. Those two
Yeah.
cards were enough, I think, to take the edge off Be Prepared. So maybe that little Lumiere 2-drop that gives heroes 1, maybe that's enough just to take the edge off
Yeah.
her. We'll have to see. Hidden Code gives 1 strength. Yeah. Creaky wears off. Yeah, Creaky's more there to sort of trade into stuff, I think, on a turn. But I think that maybe that's all we need. So anyway, that was Ursula. What was the other ones we wanted to mention? Go on.
Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer is the next
Mhm.
one, because brooms. Who doesn't love brooms? It's finally the
Rump.
set that they're gonna hopefully do well. They got plenty of cards for it, so looks like there might be a little bit of an uptick.
Yeah, just a little. I mean, it's gone from like 60 cents up to $1, but I'm not saying that. I'm not pointing this out to be like, oh, sell your Mickeys, you'll make 40 cents
Yeah.
a card. More just that, like, that price increase shows that purchasing habits have increased. It just shows that people are picking these up. Because all of these prices are sort of algorithmically edited to an extent by how much they're selling. So yeah, they're selling for a couple of bucks now. Actually, $2 for them. Sometimes, a lot of people have still got these. I've got 4 of these. I've
got 4, yeah.
I've been grabbing 4 Flotsams, 4 Jetsams, 4 anything that mentioned brooms. I've just been keeping them to one side, ready for it. And I genuinely think, I mean, you can play a broom deck now.
Yes.
Whether it's any good as like a hardcore broom deck, I don't know. It's probably a broom deck that's also plays Fox.
Yeah, and I think that's the key on like finding a broom deck that's playable, right? Is figuring out what other cards that aren't brooms do you also slot in the deck to make it work. Like I've seen Fox, I've seen Friends, I've seen Strength on the other side. There's a couple really good Steel and Amethyst cards.
I mean, I think Friends on the other side and a bit of steel removal, that's fine. Like I'm not even gonna sit down and say, well, this isn't true brooms, like all that sort of stuff is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you start putting in like Fox on 3 just because it's Fox, instead of, then I'm like, well, is this brooms or is this just, you're trying not to play Amethyst Steel? I do think that new Bruno that lets you name the top card is very good in brooms. And that's about it, but it's not quite brooms, but still I'd be okay with it. I think just anything that's not Fox, basically. I just want to change it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Getting away from the Madame Mim and Merlin package, and then maybe even the Jafar stuff that people try to do.
It's difficult to do.
Steel. It is.
And then the only one I wanted to mention was this one. Scar Vicious Cheetah. Has held value pretty well, honestly, but has been on quite a decent uptick since some of the stuff in this set started to get released. Mostly because it's seemingly, I think it's partly 2 things. I think one, it's the fact that Ursula's and Bare Necessities are hitting Be Prepared more often than not. But also just the fact that sort of challenge matters. I feel like this is its set, and I'm pretty sure I said that in set 3, and I'm pretty sure I might have even said it in set 2.
Yeah.
When did we get Shere Khan? Was that set 2?
That was set 2. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw Shere Khan, I was like, oh my god, this is it.
I wanted Shere Khan to work so bad.
Does he now?
Yeah. It's so tough. I don't think Shere Khan works. I think maybe the challenge matter stuff might work. It's so difficult because of the same reasons it was difficult before, which is just that your opponent cannot exert their characters or only exert them when it's beneficial, or play inks like Steel that like you're not even exerting characters. You're shooting down all of your opponent's characters before they can even do anything. So
I think it was is it Bicandio? Is his name?
Bicandio. Yeah.
I've been watching his set reviews amongst many others. I've been taking it all in this last couple of weeks, and he made a really good point about a lot of the challenge master stuff, but just in cards in general as well. He said the problem is there's a lot of decks at the moment that are very good, Amber Steel, Ruby Sapphire, Sapphire Steel. They don't care what your cards say. They just kill it.
Yeah.
They don't care about card text. They just kill them, and then when they're all gone, they win. And he said, and it was like a general like a genuine like light bulb on the house, like, oh my god, so right. We're sitting here thinking, if you can get this out and this turns sideways and this is here on this location and then that starts happening, the decks that are winning, they don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
They just kill all this stuff.
Yeah. And that's even the thing, like, I question if Scar's uptick has anything to do with all of the challenge matter stuff coming in. Because I mean, we got Snuggly Duckling, we got Thieves, we got a couple other cards that care about challenging. You know, like
There's
there's
stuff
stuff
that goes
that's
in the
there.
deck as well, like super goofy and
Yeah, exactly. But like Scar is also seeing lots of play currently in this meta because, like you said, Be Prepared's are being shot out by Be Our Guest and Ursula's, and like I know Ruby Sapphire is one of the best decks in the format right now, and a lot of them are running a couple Scars because it's a Be Prepared that doesn't get pulled away, and they can challenge the rest of your board and catch up very quickly after ramping to Scar very quickly. And so I
yeah,
question if it's more of like what you just said of Scar is just a card that banishes all your other characters and doesn't care what their text says,
yeah,
versus, oh, this card's going to be really good if I can get it on Snuggly Duckling and
yeah,
challenge
because of
multiple
changing.
times.
During the set champs, I played against a Ruby player, and on turn 6 dropped down the 2-drop Ursula, hoping to hit the B prep,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed me his hand, and it was some other things, but there was one of these in, and
Yeah.
he was like, "I don't have the B prep, I have
Yeah.
the scar."
Yep.
But at least I only know to turn one thing sideways now, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah. At
still
least you know
fine.
now. Yeah. Yeah. At least you know to not exert your stuff.
Yeah, I can turn one thing sideways, and then it hopefully forces the scar out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, so they're the only few I noticed. Is there anything else you can think of that sort of is one to watch? I don't know.
The only thing that I could think of was maybe looking at Rapunzel because I know a lot of people were really excited about the one cost Mulan that
Yeah,
damages herself.
Mulan,
We got
and
a
there's a beast that does it as
beast.
well, right? Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite arts in the set. I
Mm.
think the best looks really good. But I mean, Ursula's always been an expensive card. She's seeing a bit more play in Steel Song right now.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of people saying that Amber Ruby is going to be good next set, and I believe them. I mean, Amber Ruby I feel like, was just on the cusp of being good this
Mhm.
set,
Mhm.
and they got really good tools in Ursula's Return. So I wouldn't be surprised if it saw more, just because you can more. I just lost the word. Consistently
They get this
play,
online, right? Yeah.
yeah, play Rapunzel with something that's challenged and draw cards off of it. But it doesn't look like she's doing anything crazy.
Yeah, I'm very up and down, basically.
Yeah,
Like, over the last month has trickled up, but it's a few bucks. Yeah, we'll see. I
yeah,
haven't seen anything that's had a major shift really because of the cards. Yeah, maybe people aren't watching it that close. I don't know. There we go. All right. Okay, should we do the reveals then? It feels crazy to be doing these, but there are, like, since last week,
yeah.
we cover all of them, and
There's
there is
45 left.
5 cards to look at.
Yeah, we can run through them.
All right, let's strap in. These, I don't think these are quite in the order they're on our show notes, by the way, because
Okay, that's fine.
So
I just
they're
looked at
roughly
it.
the same. The order they're on here are actually the, like, set order. Like,
Okay,
I don't think the list I've got is quite right. So. All right, we start off then. Forecasted Inkable 2-3 with one lore, Daisy Duck, Musketeer Spy, Dreamborn Hero, Musketeer. Infiltration. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and discards a card. Common card with art by Kendall Hale. I don't know. I don't mind this. Amber Emerald, I think, is a thing. I genuinely think we'll see an Amber Emerald deck that does well this set, and I think it's going to be discard focused.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether this squeezes in over the Daisy that makes them discard on questing, which I think is also a 4-drop in Emerald.
Yeah, that's the thing I was comparing it to, was the other Daisy Duck. I actually think this is better because there've been way more times that I've seen people play that Daisy and often are in a scenario where it's more important for them to challenge or contest the opponent's board than it was for them to discard a card. Because by that point, I usually don't have many cards in hand because you've either discarded them all or I've played them all because I know that you're trying to discard them. But I think this is a fine card. The stats are a little bit low for a 4 cost. It doesn't have a ton of lore, but it's an interplay effect. And I've said it over and over again. Interplay effects in this game are really strong. And I can absolutely see this going into a discard deck that is playing Amber for sure.
I know it doesn't got anything to do with this card at all. But God, if you had forgotten me was a song,
Yeah, that would be crazy.
and this could like come down, discard, next turn sings that.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah. Otherwise,
disgusting.
maybe this can see play, and it can still sing. Like all of the discard cards,
Mhm.
really. Sudden chill doesn't quite hit the. We don't talk about Bruno, which I think would be.
Thank God.
I think is maybe the key to this Amber Emerald deck is I think stuff needs to hit that more often than
Mhm.
not. But even
I
so, you can't just have a deck of 5 drops. So maybe this sees play. I kind
Yeah.
of dig it.
I really like the vibe of the card. It gives me, like, Assassin's Creed vibes,
The
but
art
for
is
an easy guy.
incredible. I love
Yeah.
how like Daisy Duck. I don't like. She's just always a badass in every art. Like so far.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we've had just one of her. Like
Yeah.
there's that really cool princess version of her, the one drop that looks amazing,
Mhm.
and then all
Yeah.
the others, she's just like Ezio Auditore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's incredible.
Daisy's killing it.
Yeah, man. All right, next up, her
Next,
husband.
yeah, her husband, Donald Duck, Musketeer Soldier, is an inkable 3, cost 2/3 with 1 lore. It's a Dreamborn hero Musketeer with Bodyguard and has the ability Wait for Me. When you play this character, chosen character gets +1 lore this turn. I actually kind of dig this card. It's a Musketeer, so it goes into any of the Musketeer decks that you're interested in playing. It's also a Bodyguard, which usually Musketeer decks kind of care about that, but also I think there's a Bodyguard deck in Amber and Steel that this wouldn't be too bad in at a
Yeah.
3 cost. The stats are okay. I like the stats are fine for it being a bodyguard, to be
Well,
honest.
it's Simba for one more. It's Simba for one more, and
It's
you're
Simba for
getting
one
the lore.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you basically gain a lore that turn so far as you have another character to give the lore to that you want to quest. And so that's the only thing I'm like a little iffy on is the giving something lore seems really good, but it's
Mhm.
only good if you have a character in play that you are also wanting to quest with. So I
Yeah.
think sometimes it'll be a bit situational.
Yeah, maybe.
But I like the card and I love the art.
The art is insane, and I wonder sometimes if we look at rarities of cards and sort of glaze over the artwork a little bit because they're lower rarity. The art on this is incredible. The
It's
lighting
so
is
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
They showed this off. They showed the art off before they showed the card off in like an artist interview with Joachim.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like it was a full art, like it looked like a playmat, and I was like, oh my god,
Mhm.
that's amazing! It's so cool. Yeah, really cool artwork on this one. Like this was the image I used for my Amber set reviews.
Mhm.
Like he just absolutely pops out the card. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it's playable. If you're leaning into bodyguards, I think this is a shoe in. Do you play? Well, there's the question: do you play this over all of the 3 costed 3/3 bodyguards?
Yeah, that's the hard
Yeah, that's
decision
that's where
because
it's because that's where it's sitting, right? Are you playing this instead of Prince Eric or Hercules or yeah, it is Prince Eric in this one, isn't it? Amber, I think.
is it the prince? I think it's just the
Oh, the
prince.
Prince is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
same difference. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we have a 3/3 1 in Amber and in Steel now.
Mhm.
So, do you play this over them? Probably, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard because the Hercules I think is really good just because yeah, shift lines and trades
That's
with a
fair.
lot of
Yeah, yeah.
trades with a lot of stuff that might be challenging into him, whereas Donald Duck probably doesn't trade, but you
Mm,
get that extra lore. So I've definitely seen some more aggressive bodyguard builds that just sort of put stuff down and turn it sideways, and they're playing cards like Blue.
yeah,
Um,
blue
you
is a good one.
know, it's gaining some lore, so maybe you put Donald Duck in that as well because it's kind of like a Baloo if you can give it to something else. So yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I think you're happy giving that law to another bodyguard, right? That's turning
Sure,
sideways anyway.
sure.
There's always that point that we always make with this though, is that like at some point, if everything's bodyguard, nothing is, and
Right.
you're just turning loads of stuff sideways. But
Yeah.
I still really love this and hope it works, just because the art's so good.
Same.
Yeah. Next up, 3 costed uninkable 2/4 with 1 lore. Gaston, despicable dealer, storyborn villain with dubious recruitment. You can exert this to pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn. Super rare with art by Brian Kessinger. Yeah, I mean, this is just good, I think.
I think so. This one was difficult for me to analyze because you have Doc, right? Which is like
Yeah.
a very similar card. Doc is ink. I think it's an inkable 2/3 with 2 lore, and then when you quest with Doc, then it reduces the cost of the next character you play by 1. So a very similar card. except you're not ramping as much as you are with Gaston, and he's inkable, and you're gaining lore with Doc. So I
Mhm.
think there's scenarios where you play Doc over Gaston, but oh my goodness. I mean, like if you can get Gaston on turn 3, he has 4 willpower. So it's going to be really tough for your opponent to banish Gaston before he exerts, unless they're playing like a Long Came Zeus, or they happen to have 4 characters on board and can sing like a Let the Storm Rage on.
Yeah,
So it's going to be
sure.
kind of tricky to get rid of. Um, and there are some really good 6 cost characters that you can play on turn
Down on
4,
3. Yeah,
if your
of
Gaston
course,
can
yeah.
stick around.
Yeah. Is Doc is 3 as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So ideally what you're doing here is probably Lantern on 2 then. This on 3, and then you can do Carefree Surfer on
Oh,
4.
geez. Yeah. Uh,
Just trying
I
to
don't
think
know
of
you're
what
doing
the
much
biggest
there,
thing. Yeah, I don't know what's the
but
biggest thing
yeah,
you can do.
you play
Pluto
like
on 1.
Ursula, like the new Ursula on 7
Yeah,
or on turn 4. I don't
yeah,
even think like the strongest card, one of the strongest cards in the game. Like you can play Madame Medusa on turn 6 or on turn 4, and like
yeah,
banish whatever it is they're playing and have a
yeah,
4/4 on board. You can play Giant Tinkerbell and have that on board really early.
yeah. Still play Doc instead of Gaston, Inkable, and gets low while ramping, but that's just me. Honestly, I think you play both and you just don't play 4 drops. Like, I think that's
Maybe.
probably I think there's 8 copies of this card, basically,
Ooh,
and then you just skip your turn 4.
another thing, and this is where like you kind of have to weigh the differences. There's some really strong 6 drops that you can get out on turn 4, but there's also a lot of really strong 5 drops or like shift 5 characters.
Mhm.
And so like one of those is the new Mulan Elite Archer, and
Mm.
her shift is 5, but her actual cost is 6. But like you want to be shifting her, so it's like, do you play both Gaston and Doc? And like, or do you just play Doc and try to get the shift line out?
Mm.
Or do you play Gaston and just hard, pay 6 for her, and get her out
No, I
early
think you
that
probably want the
way?
shift because she gets more strength if she's shifted, right?
Right, right. That's the goal, to do that.
And
But I
also,
think
like, the option is that you use Gaston to pay her cheaper, and it still leaves you a lore or an ink
sure,
to do something with as well, right?
sure. And I think it'll really come down to like how important is it to get those 6 cost cards down on turn 4 versus the 5 cost cards? Because if
Yeah,
the 6 cost cards aren't that much better than the other 5 costs, you like we were already playing Mufasa and a couple
and Doc
others,
is probably, yeah.
yeah, then you just play Doc because he's inkable and you're gaining lore while you're doing it.
Yeah, Ben says, does it discount shift? Yes, it does. Yeah, we're just
Mhm.
saying that, like, to use the most of to use as much as ink as possible.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be using all of your ink each turn, basically, or all of your available resources each turn. So, by using this on 3, next turn, if you're using him to pay a 6, but instead using it for a 5 drop, you've got 1 ink left over. Whether you can do anything
Mhm.
with that, it's that's all we're really saying there. But yeah, I can see a deck that just runs this and Doc and Lantern and
Yep.
O's and just everything else is massive.
Just play a lot of really expensive cards.
Yeah.
Next, we have Max, Loyal Sheepdog, an inkable 3 cost 4/3 with 1 lore with the classification Storyborn and Ally. He has the ability Here Boy. If you have a character named Prince Eric in play, pay 1 less to play this character. Good stats for a 3 cost. Being able to hit things for 4 is pretty good. But otherwise, I mean, there's a decent amount of Prince Erics. I don't know that like they're impactful enough that you're building a Prince Eric deck and you want to play this in that Prince Eric deck. And I don't there's not a Prince Eric that you can play. Like, there's not like a 1 cost Prince
There's not a
Eric
and
that
that's
you can then play this
I'm
on
glad you
2.
managed your way around to the point of this card. There is not a 1 cost Prince Eric, and until there is, I don't think this is any good. But
Yeah.
like, that's a hell of an opening though. Turn 1
Oh
Prince Eric,
gosh,
this on
that
2
would be
is great.
crazy. Yeah, a
But
4/3 on turn 2 is really
it's
good.
the same as there's another card that's like this, where it's 1 cheaper if you've got someone out.
It's
Um,
LeFou and Gaston.
LeFou and yeah, I thought there was another one in this set though.
Oh, I don't know if there's one in the set.
Yeah, but it might be LeFou and Gaston. But again, there's not a 1 drop that makes it playable on 2.
Yeah.
But the LeFou is a 2 drop, right? Who can come out for 1?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's
no,
another
there's
Gaston.
something else this set. Chat will have caught up in a sec, but there's something else in this. There's something else in this set that's 1 cheaper.
Oh, is it, it's Flounder.
Yes,
Flounder and
that's right.
Ariel.
If you have an aerial out, yeah, but there's no one drop aerial for him.
No.
So yeah, for the same reason that like it just as soon as they do, the card's more interesting. It's still a vanilla on 2, but it's a pretty, like you say, a pretty good.
I mean, it would be
solid,
it would be a great curve for
yeah.
just a vanilla on 2 if you could get it out on 2.
Yeah. This is good. What if they had Max Goof? What would they call him? Because this is called Max. Yeah, Max Goof, I guess, would make sense. Yeah, almost all characters that have their last name are named with it. The only one that I really noticed that seems future-proofing as far as naming cards is Chip the Teacup. Like, not just Chip.
Yeah.
So it's that one day we can have Chip and Dale, I feel. Well, it seems obvious to me, but maybe we'll never know. But yeah, no, Max is good. With cute art, and if we ever get a one-drop Eric, I think this might see some play, honestly. Talking of Eric.
You go.
This is a 6-costed inkable 5/5 with 2 lore. Prince Eric, Ursula's groom, Floodborn hero Prince, shift 4. And under Vanessa's spell, while you have a character named Ursula in play, this character gains bodyguard and gets 2 strength. Uncommon card with art by Lasan Kuitiu. I see that Googly's in the chat, so I'll just say that this is, if you have an Ursula in play, this is a bodyguard, so of course it can enter play exerted.
They actually can't do that. Oh God,
that's what bodyguards do.
I don't want to get
It'd be a terrible card if you couldn't do that, wouldn't it?
I'm so frustrated with the rules in this game. I feel they change all the time, and I never understand
them. They don't change all the time. Our understanding of them changes.
They're clarified all the time, and they're all different than what I think they're supposed to be. Which isn't like it's my fault. I just don't understand the game at that level, I guess. But yeah, I remember I saw Googly tweet about this and be like, "Hey, does this work?" And I was like, Googly, you're going to make me open the rules doc. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm just going to wait for somebody to figure it out. And I still don't know what happens. I think I saw at one point that like you can play him and he does have bodyguard, but you can't play him exerted, even though he has bodyguard. Why? I don't know. I'm just going to believe Googly.
You want to know why?
Sure.
So in simple terms, he has bodyguard as he's played. But being able to play a bodyguard exerted is a replacement effect on the playing of the card. So as he is played, he has bodyguard, but he can't be. But he doesn't have bodyguard in your hand, so he can't be played differently. He can't be played exerted.
So, like the way I would interpret that is when you play Prince Eric, he like will get bodyguard. Like you play him, there's an Ursula on board. Now he has bodyguard. So like
no, he has bodyguard before then. Somebody's there, but he doesn't get bodyguard until he hits the board. That's not true. He has bodyguard as he's being played.
Okay, sure.
Basically, yeah. Like it's like there's perfect timings where it all works out and it all does make sense. But basically, the game is saying to you, "Oh, you want to play Prince Eric? Cool. He doesn't have bodyguard, so you can't play him exerted." And then as you go to play him, the game says, "Oh, actually, he does have bodyguard, but you've already chose to play him now, so fuck you." Like basically, that's what he said. That's how the game works.
Sure. Yeah. All I need to know is that I can't play him exerted.
But if you have a Prince Eric out, you can shift and therefore obviously play exerted.
What? Wait, so if you shift...
Yeah, because you can exert something that's shifted.
Oh, yeah, because
that's just normal rules of shift. That's got nothing to do with Nazi's bodyguard.
Yeah, so you can just challenge your quest or whatever, and then they're exerted.
Yeah, and then he's got bodyguard, assuming you have an Ursula out. I mean, it's not common. Sure. It's not going to be insane, right? I actually quite like it.
Yeah, I kind of like the stats on the card. I wish that there were other Prince Erics to... I mean, I get there's the one Prince Eric in Amber, but all the other Prince Erics are in different ink colors than all the other Ursulas.
Yeah, it's all spread out, eh?
Yeah, so like I can't shift this onto the Steel Eric, which would be a really good shift target, I think, because there's no Ursula in Amber. No, there's an Ursula in Amber.
There's 2.
Whether I don't know that they're worth playing like just for this Prince Eric. The good Ursulas are in other colors.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
the good Ursulas are in Emerald and Amethyst, but there are two in and they're okay, I think.
yeah.
Morph, sure. I like how Song Teddy's looks. Yeah, I think the art is great. I love both the arts, him and the
Yeah.
I think they're awesome. I think Lasan's done an incredible job. I think it's like really just great art style.
And it's
Um,
another like a connected art piece. Like it's Ursula and Eric sitting next to each other.
yeah, yeah, it's really good fun. And the Shift Ursula isn't bad either, I don't think. All right, we're not looking at her today though, because this is just stuff that's come out in the last week. One cost. Oh, go on, this is you.
Oh, inkable, one cost action, first aid, remove up to 1 damage from each of your characters. Poor Pluto. What happened to Pluto? But
I'm not happy about it. I don't like the cards. I
I don't like the card.
Gonzalo. I'm sure you're a fantastic artist. I'm sure you're a good person. But when this brief was given to you, you should have just said no. I'm
You
not.
should have
No,
just
I'm
said
not
no.
drawing that. I'm not drawing Pluto
can't-
being hurt.
I can't create this. You mad?
This is chaff. It's packed
Yeah,
up.
it's not a good card, I don't think. Whoop.
Whoop, I love how they stretch out. Fat Pluto. Two cost inkable. The Underworld location. 2 move cost, 6 willpower, 1 passive law. Save a soul. Whenever a character quests while here, you may pay 3 to return a character card from your discard to your hand. They can, quite rightly so perhaps, but they continue to make discard recursion expensive.
Very expensive, yeah.
Because it's kind
This
of
is so expensive.
it's kind of broken, right? Like that's like
yeah.
if you can just do it cheap enough. Oh, so the total tangent, by the way. I'm not going to give any details. I promise you. But I did play the first round of the co-op Ursula's quest thing today. It's incredible fun. Honestly, I already want to go and play the rest of them. It's really good fun. One of the cards in one of the decks is the Bruno, and it's like bring something back and heal 2.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Like that.
Okay.
I got it, and I was like, "This is good. Get something by hand and also heal something." The game is very challenge heavy because it's like her stuff quests with abandon. Basically, like her stuff is always turning sideways, so you're doing a lot of swinging in. So the healing is probably a lot more prevalent than it would be in a regular 1v1. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting stuff from the discard. I'm like, yeah, I kind of dig it. First inkable resurrection.
I
mean, yeah, sure, it's inkable, but like it's also
it's also
loops.
7 ink, yeah, to do it. Like, good lord.
Yeah, 2 to play, 2 to move, 3 to
3
do
to pay. Yeah. Minimum 7 ink that you're putting in.
So I think it is. Oh, well, is Perdita inkable?
No, she's an uninkable.
No? Yeah, so it's maybe it is the first inkable thing, but even still, a lot to jump through. Does this start to make a zombie deck look interesting? I don't think so. I think that in the same way that they've introduced tutoring into the game this set, but it's very, very safe. I think
I wish they would. I wish they would so badly.
What, just make this doable?
Yeah, so I wish they'd make it more doable. I really like effects like this and have fun, like pulling stuff back from the discard. And yeah, I get why they're keeping it safe. I know it's broken in plenty of other card games.
It's easily broken, I think, is the point, right? Like they've only got to just. There's a big thing in Magic, and it kind of happens. I've noticed it in Lorcana. You'll read a card, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And at the end of the card, it says to a damaged character. You're like, you get all the way down, and then you go, "Oh." But the one in Magic is, "I'll do this and do that. Oh wow, God, this is amazing. This ability only triggers once per turn." And that line is always at the very bottom of the card, and you go, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" This ability triggers once per turn. You're like, "Oh, it stopped me doing it 50 times because I've already thought of the loop," and that, and that's why, because they know very well that they just got it. One thing, they just dial something up a little or dial something down a little, and it just pops, and then you get very dangerous if you mess too much with recursion. So it makes sense.
It just makes me wonder, like, this is an absurd amount of ink for what this card is doing compared to all the other recursion cards that we've seen so far. Like, this is just so expensive, and it makes me wonder why. Like, why is this card so much more expensive than, like, is it just because it's inkable? But like the Hades and the part of your world and Bruno, like all that stuff is uninkable. and much more reasonable, I think, for being able to pull stuff back, especially with their stats. But I don't know. It's wild.
Yeah. So, at the minute, we're not fussed on it.
That's what
All
makes
right.
pack battles so interesting.
Yeah, because you can pick your graveyard back up. Let's go again.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Inkable, 2-cost, 2/2 with 2 lore, magical maid, feather duster, storyborn ally, uncommon. We've seen this before. We have a card that I think is better than this in Pua. It's just the same thing, except when banished, you can shuffle it back into your deck if you want. So yeah, I mean, might see play in a hyper aggro deck that cares about 2 lore questers, but like I said, you might just play Pua instead.
Yeah, I think we've had this stat line on all sorts of things, right? Like I don't know if we've got one in
Yeah.
Amethyst yet, but there was an Aurora in set 1. Didn't the Genie you just play in Sapphire is
Yeah, the Genie was a.
yeah.
I don't know, I can look at it. It's right here. I think so.
Yeah, like it's the same kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
right?
Inkable, 2-cost, 2/2, 2 lore.
So
2/2.
2. I won't go on about it, but this is the first card where the character's name has been the subtitle and not the title.
What? Really?
Feather
I thought
Dust.
when Rochelle revealed this in the main stage.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't there, so you don't know this.
No, I wasn't.
When Rochelle revealed this in the main stage, everybody was screaming that this card, that she has a name.
Mhm.
Everyone was so mad that she wasn't called by her name. I don't even know what her name is.
Take your pick.
It's not Feather Duster.
It's Feather Duster. If you go and watch the credits of the original movie, she is named Feather Duster.
Okay, well, I'm
She
unaware.
has since been called Fifi.
That was one that people
She
were
has
saying.
also been called Plumette, which was the live action remake. She's called Babette in the stage musical.
Oh, that was the other one. I think people were saying.
And I think she was called Marie in a comic book as well. Like this, I only know this because like it's a bit of a thing that this character has been called something different every single time they put her on the screen, basically. Yeah. But if you go into the 1993 movie, 1993, yeah, you go. Oh, no, it'd be a bit earlier than that, wasn't it? 91.
No, let me look at my VHS tape of the.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know if it actually says on here. At the bottom, maybe 1991.
91, yeah. So in the 91 movie, she's called Feather Duster. Magical Maid is a new one for the list, so you can add a lot more. Should have been a broom. I mean, she's not a broom; she's a feather duster. But yeah, that would have been a really great fit, considering she sits right
Broom
next to
adjacent.
magic brooms in Amethyst as well.
Yeah, she's as close to a broom as a mod
broom
would be,
adjacent.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that added 2-costed 2/2 floor broom would have been great.
Sure.
All right, next up. 2-costed inkable 3/2 with 1 lore Pico, helpful toucan, storyborn ally, common by Hadji's Juice. Do you know what this one was from?
Nope.
No, I struggled with this one honestly. It's the little Encanto boy's pet or one of the.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, I remember that now.
But looking at it, just the bird on the card, I was like, no, ain't got this.
I looked at it and I was like, that's not Zazu. And then just
I forget what one of the videos I watched of a set review, like kind of came out of nowhere with what they said it was. I can't remember what it was. They were like, it was really out there, wrong guess. But also, there's a bit of lore going on here. He spotted a mysterious glow in the mountains nearby.
Yeah,
piece of the prophecy. I love it.
I think it would be. I like where I think they're going with the story because there's quite a bit of teasing happening in the flavor text from this set, and I like what's happening.
Yeah, he's found a piece of the vision tablet. Oh, that's what we think it is, eh? That's maybe a prophecy thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's cool. All right, but otherwise, yeah, whatever. 3/2 vanilla. Moving on.
Yep. Next, we have Ursula, Mad Sea Witch, an inkable 2-cost 1/3 with 1 lore, and the classification's Dreamborn Villain Sorcerer. She has Challenger +2 and is an uncommon. I really like this card, actually. This is Prince Eric, but an Amethyst and a pretty great shift target for some of the Ursulas, I think. then specifically the Amethyst Ursula that we got this set, the Floodborn. So
yeah, my only thing is that I'm most likely playing that big Ursula in Amethyst Emerald, and I would rather play the Emerald Ursulas over this.
Sure,
So that's the only thing I don't necessarily think this sees play is that I want to play the two that looks at your hand instead. Really,
yeah, definitely.
And if I want something that does this in that deck, I'm sticking with Rafiki on turn 1. So that's the reason I think it doesn't really see play. I don't think you need the consistency of the shift target so much if you're playing the 8 copies of the Emerald Ursulas personally.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but this is the only Ursula art I really don't like. They seem to always nail it. No, I don't mind this one. There's another one that's like a little off in the face, but I think this is still pretty good.
I think this is fine. Yeah. I really like all the cards that we've got this set that have both of the Ursulas like together. So that's something Rochelle mentioned in the main stage is that the Deceiver of all Ursula and then the other, I guess, normal Ursula, like have worked together because they're glimmers. They're two different things. And so, and like one turned on the other. And I really enjoyed seeing all the Ursula cards where you can see both of the Ursulas in the card. Like in this one, the green tentacle is the Deceiver of all. And the other one that you see the front of, who's angry, is the Mad Sea Witch. So I really like that. I think it's cool.
It's one of those things that's like, yes, there's the narrative of like, oh, they're glimmers and they're coming from ink or whatever, but it's all been relatively sort of like separate from just the idea that it's Ursula, she's on a card, you know what Ursula looks like, you know what I mean? Like, and yes, there's an explanation for it. Yeah, there's multiples of them and it's ink and that, you know, but you know, it's a card with Ursula on. So then to go from that to here, it's like, oh no, look, here are these two different versions and they're on the card. Like it's quite a jump, really. And I'm here for it. I don't mind it. Again, the only thing as long as it, personally, and this is just my rule and it's just my line in the sand, and I don't know why I'm sticking to this and I don't know why it's how I feel. But if it's a character card, it needs to be a character from a Disney movie. And like that's my rule.
Okay.
And if they break that, I'm out.
Like cancel the show.
If we get a card that's like, I don't even know what any of them are called, the Illumineers. If any of them ever turn up on cards, if Martin comes on a card, I'm out. If they make a card and it's like, oh, it's Globo the Glimmering, and it's their own little blob of like, no. Rule, and I'm just sticking to it. That if it's a character card in this game, it has to be from a Disney property. It can be an alternate version. It can be, you know, Floodborn and that. I'm down for all of those, but I have to be able to go and find it on disney.fandom.com.
Yeah,
that's my rule.
Unless they create a new classification, which they very well could. Like the Storyborn, Dreamborn, Floodborn thing really makes me think it'll just be Disney characters, and we'll never get like Martin on a card. And because I mean, they're all glimmers, right? All the character cards are glimmers, and there's no way to like. There's nothing on the card that says this is a glimmer, so it doesn't make me think we'll get anything other than glimmers. And unless we get a made-up character that's not in a Disney film that technically classifies as a glimmer, you know, I don't think we'll see it.
Maybe if we get like an Illumineer card in the future, or, you know, like there's Planeswalkers in Magic. I don't know if you know much about that. A different type of card. It's still played normally, but it sits there as a body that can be attacked. And then on your turn, you plus or minus it to do different things. Like +1, draw a card, -1, and it's basically you move its life around to generate stuff.
Okay.
So there's an argument that, you know, maybe in the future they could do a different card type, and it's very separate. But I don't love the idea of it. Somebody said, "How do you feel about made-up items?" I don't love them, but luckily I don't really care about items, so it's fine. And actions I don't really mind either. But yeah, just don't give me a 3-costed Martin.
Bucket hat item card. Bring the bucket hats.
Let's go. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Luminate Jonti gets a card. Are you still out? Yes, absolutely. I'm taking the money and running. I paid a lot for this.
Oh, geez, I can't even imagine.
I'd insist that I'm one of the
What would
four
your thing be? What
rays.
what would like your card do?
What would my
What would be your
ability do?
theme?
It'd have to be something really obnoxious. 2-drop when this character is played, opponent discards their whole hand.
Opponent has to keep talking, and the moment they stop, they have to banish a character.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, we have an inkable 1-cost amethyst action, swing into action, a common card. Chosen character gains rush this turn. I haven't hated cards like this in the past that like give characters rush. The issue is you're like 2-for-1ing yourself a lot of the time because you're having to play a character and then you're having to play this card to give it rush. So for TCG reasons, that's no good. So it's probably no good.
Yeah, I don't think so. Could see a little bit of limited play. Sometimes it might
maybe.
just be all you need to get something out there, but yeah, otherwise I don't think so. And then Ursula's plan. 3 cost. This is the sea revolve on this looks a bit funky in my opinion. 3 costed inkable action. Ursula's plan. Each opponent chooses and exerts one of their characters. Those characters can't ready at the start of their next turn. Why is this 3? Why is it uninkable? I don't get it. Like this is nowhere near as strong as an uninkable 3 cost tells you it is.
Yeah, especially because your opponent chooses what character they're exerting. I could maybe understand it if it was just like you get to choose which character it exerts and doesn't ready at the start of the turn. But the fact that your opponent has
Do we not have that cheaper than this?
well, we have freeze, which is the opponent exerts a character, but it readies at the start of the next turn.
Right. We don't have anything that keeps
I don't
it
think
down.
we have anything that keeps it down.
I mean, and that is a big difference.
Yes. Yeah. It's a huge difference.
Yeah. But this is still trash.
Yep.
All right.
Ooh, next we have Rose Lantern, inkable 2-cost item card in Amethyst. Mystical Petals, you can exert the item and pay 2 ink to move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. I don't think this card is good. Jonti, I want to talk to you about something.
Okay.
Do you think this is like what would be the Floodborn items that everybody's talked about?
Oh.
The flavor text makes me think that the rose was transformed because it like came into contact with ink, though apparently we know that items don't interact with the mixed ink the same way that other glimmers and characters do.
Is that a thing we know, is it?
Apparently. I mean, like I didn't realize that, but then I remembered we had an entire short video of wasn't there an item that was like floating? Yeah, it was the trident. The trident was just like floating down the hallway, and Martin or somebody was trying to grab it and didn't. And nothing changed about the trident. But anyway, there's been a lot of talk about Floodborn items.
Yeah.
And people wonder if that'll happen. I responded to Baker Lorcana villain because he mentioned something about it, and I just said I would love to see a Floodborn item. I think that's a really cool idea. But the flavor text on this card makes me think otherwise. And even the way the card looks, it looks like this rose is different and it's like shooting out its leaves or thorns or something to like do its ability. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, Ursula sort of changes the trident, doesn't she? It's the glimmer itself changes it. So are we saying that like one of the sorceress Bell is able to change the lantern?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I hope we find out and they're not just kind of making it up as they go along. Yeah. The card isn't very good, I don't think.
Card's not very good, no.
Is that the end of Amethyst, I think? Oh, no. Whoa. Wide. 3 costed, uninkable. 2 move cost, 6 willpower, 1 passive law, slippery balls. Whenever a character is banished in a challenge, while here, you may return them to your hand. And the Seat of Power characters named Ursula get +1 law, while here, rare card with art by Eriwelli and Sam Burley. 2 move cost is gross.
It's
I just don't.
it's
I just
so
stop
much.
looking at the cards if it says 2 move cost on it. Honestly,
I don't know. Is there a card? Is there a location card that exists that's 2 to move that's like worth playing? Because the Queen's Castle is 1 to move.
RLS Legacy, but
Yeah, I
only
guess it's got a
because
little bit of play.
you're playing it with Jim, and then it's cheaper to move stuff there. It's actually
Oh,
free to
that's
move
true.
there.
Yeah, because then it goes down to 1
Yeah,
once you move it. So it's still
and
a
they're
1.
like the only 2 really. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's
that we've
just it's
seen play.
crazy how much difference the
Such
1
tempo
versus
shift.
2 is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not completely dead against this because the ability is just good. Stuff going back to your hand is great. The 2-drop Ursula that looks into their hand,
Mhm.
once it hits the board, is pretty much dead, right? Which is why I quite like the big Ursula as to shift onto, because it gives it something to do.
Mhm.
I don't hate the idea of moving that to here, having it quest for 2, and then giving them the option to put it back in my hand so I can recast it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
see what
it's
you're doing there.
actually a good line if it just wasn't so expensive to
So
make it
expensive.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're playing this the turn after on 3, and then on turn 4, you're paying 2 to move this, and you
Yeah.
only have 2 ink to work with. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not great.
Yeah. So I
I
don't.
think I mean, I think it's fun in an Ursula themed deck with Ursula, all the Ursula cards and Flotsam and Jetsam, but outside of that,
Yeah. Yeah. Flotsam and Jetsams moved here for free or something would have made this a lot more interesting. But as it stands, 2 to move to it is just a bit rough, unfortunately.
yeah. I wanna answer Scott in the
Oh,
chat.
sure.
He's asking, can you explain, Raiden, are you saying this is a start of items changing abilities based on Floodborne? No, I'm just saying people have been speculating that the same way we have Floodborne characters, eventually we'll get Floodborne items where we have the Trident now, and then maybe, next set we'll get another Trident, but it's Floodborne and you can play it on top of
As in it's
other items.
shiftable, right? Like it's like
Yeah, like
mechanically
shift it.
Floodborne. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Just I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen.
But yes, if there were to be Floodborne items, that Rose Lantern would be one because it is a change of the rose.
Changed version of the rose, right? Yeah. So anyway, this is an inkable 1 cost Diablo Maleficent Spy, 1 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore character with Storyborn allies classifications. It has the ability to scout ahead. When you play this character, you may look at each opponent's hand. I think this card is only relevant because of the shift Diablo. Otherwise, it's not a terrible body or card, and getting to look at your opponent's hands, not nothing.
Yeah. It suffers from the 3-cost Amethyst problem in that, like, are you playing this or are you playing a Curse Merfolk?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you playing?
Are you
with
playing this or a
3-cost
Pegasus?
Amethyst? Yeah, I think both of those probably see play over this, unless you really want to play the Diablo line.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an argument to be said that Diablo probably isn't great shifting anyway, just because of how much stuff it costs you to get, get it online. I don't know. I need to play with it. I should love this card, and I don't know why. I love looking at people's hands.
Yeah, I just for the same reason you just said. I think there's better 1-drops that in just about any Emerald deck you have to play over this.
Yep. Next up, 3-costed inkable 2/4 with 2 lore, Pain, Immortal Sidekick, Storyborn ally, common card. There, vanilla, whatever. Not continuous art with Panic. I had a bit of an argument on Twitter on Facebook about this today.
Okay.
Next up is Panic.
Panic, Immortal Sidekick, inkable 4 costs, 3/3 with 2 lore, Storyborn ally. While this character is exerted, if you have a character named Pain in play, your villain characters can't be challenged.
I don't think this is very good, unfortunately.
I don't either.
You need 2 cards on the board that aren't villains, one of them exerted to keep another exerted villain unchallengeable. Yeah. It's way too many hoops to jump through. I don't mind this one for a body, but otherwise,
no.
Really
I might draft it just because it's a 3/3 with 2 lore,
Yeah.
otherwise. Are you
But yeah,
saying
people.
something continuous because,
Yes.
like, the horns are sticking out at the top of pain and you can see that part of the card here in panic?
It looks like it's continuous. Like when I first saw these, I was like, "Oh, cool, these go together," but they don't. They are two separate drawings. It's not like the other
Okay.
ones where they've been drawn together. If you look on Panic here, you can see Pain's tail look in full.
Oh, okay.
But if you go to Pain, his tail is up there. Look,
Okay, I see, I see.
and there's a few others. Pain on Panic, his hand is
Yeah,
here
I
on
see
his
now.
eyes, and it isn't. His hand isn't there. Look, it
Yeah.
looks like they go together, but they it's not connecting art. No, they're both drawn so that the other one's in there because they're a duo, and that's cool. But it doesn't line up in the same way that the dwarves line up, or
Mhm.
like we haven't got so many of them yet, but the warriors from Mulan, yeah, they all line up nicely in this one. I love a good lining up art, so I
I do
always
too.
spot them a mile off. And this isn't one. Yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on. Two costed, uninkable 2/3 for one law. Pete, born to cheat. I love saying that. Dreamborn villain musketeer. I clobber you whenever this character quests. While he has 5 strength or more, return chosen character with 2 strength or less their player's hand. This is a super rare, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, for some reason, when I read this card, my eyes glaze over about like halfway through because it just feels like, I mean, this is all the Pete cards. They all care about him having more strength, and there's a bunch of hoops you have to jump through to get a uh, a payoff.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good.
No, this is awful, I think. Yeah, it's not good, unfortunately. Goodle Giver says the last Pain and Panic looked like they would line up with Hades in the middle. They did line up, actually. The last ones did. Yeah. I thought the one of them had like a cloak coming down, so I thought it was going to be one Hades, the other one, but it isn't. They actually go this way, but they do line up neatly.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is crap. I really hope I don't pull a load of these. There's so many other super rares I would
Yeah,
rather
the
see.
super rares. This is definitely a super rare you don't get excited to see.
Yeah. One costed inkable, 2/1 with one law. The Fates, only one eye, storyborn ally. All will be seen when you play this character. Look at the top card of each opponent's deck. Again, the one cost an emerald. There's other stuff I want to play.
I
I don't
guess
mind it, but you know.
so. I don't think this is good for constructed.
Mhm.
There's an argument to be made. Oh no, because they're not your opponent. Never mind. I was gonna say there's an argument to be made in like a co-op.
See
You
what's
play
coming.
this with Bruno to like see what's coming and
Yeah.
tell your partner, hey, name this card for Bruno.
Yeah.
You can like draw it and gain floor, but never mind. They're not your opponent.
No, they're not. But Roger says they line up top and bottom. Do I need to go through it again?
Oh
They
jeez.
don't.
Just don't go through it again. Just rewind and listen
Go
to Jonti
back and
a second
watch.
time.
They do not line up. The one pokes up and the other one pokes down, but they don't line up. They are different artworks. Yeah, it would be nice if this did something with Eye of the Fates. That would be cool. Dire Fates is gain a law, so no, it doesn't really
Very
line up,
different
does it?
abilities.
I really love this. I love the characters. I love the
I
art.
do too.
I like the ability. I'm playing something else on one in Emerald. Like it still doesn't beat Curse Merfolk for me,
I just
unfortunately.
I don't know how like helpful it is for you to know what your opponent's going to draw the next turn.
Not on one. There's an argument to say that you're going to play Ursula on 2, and then this. No,
Yeah,
playing this and Ursula on the same turn to
yeah,
really know
yeah. So no,
what they're
you
playing.
really, you know what's in their hand and what they're going to draw.
Yeah, play later instead of on. Yeah, I think like you can put this down later on and have a look, but
I just think like Diablo is a
yeah,
much better card than this for most of the time because you can see the whole hand. I guess there's maybe an argument in a very heavy discard deck to the
mm,
point where you've gotten all the your opponent doesn't have any more cards. You can play the fates, look at the card they're going to draw, and decide is it worth like discarding, the next time around if they don't play it. But it's so niche. It's
yeah, yeah. Mufasa counter, but not really. I mean,
It doesn't stop
it doesn't
Mufasa.
stop it. It can tell you whether or not you want to go into the Mufasa, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just I don't think
So
it's
I'm
very
very
good.
excited to see this with googly eyes for sure.
Oh, just one big one,
There's one big googly eye in the
or with
middle.
5 little
I think
ones.
I think it would just be one, but that's up to googly.
All right, next up.
Next up, we have Zeus, Mr. Lightning Bolt, sinkable 3 cost 0/5 with 2 lore in the classification of Storyborn King Deity. The ability target practice. Whenever this character challenges another character, he gets plus strength equal to the strength of the chosen character this turn. So this one slipped by me. I'm not gonna lie. It's a super rare.
You revealed this.
But,
I was so drunk at this point.
Wait, was this in the main stage?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I definitely missed this. I wasn't looking. I was not reading the text on the cards in the main stage because it was not planned for me to be up there. That just happened. And I was just I was along for the ride. But yeah, even afterwards, this card didn't catch my eye because I didn't read all of it, to be honest. It's pretty crazy. This has 5 willpower and 2 lore on a 3 cost that's inkable, and can usually banish whatever it's running into.
Yeah, it's pretty much kills whatever you want on turn 4, really. Yeah.
Most everything is going to have equal strength or more strength than the willpower it has. It just normally sees play. The only issue is, of course, similar to the other Zeus card that has Rush and Amethyst, is that when Zeus is exerted, because you either challenged or you quested with him, he's not going to hit back. So a lot of cards like this are really good because they can 2 for 1. It's the reason Maui's really good, because you can play Maui and rush him into something, and then he usually survives, and something else is going to be banished from him one way or another. Zeus doesn't do this unless your opponent just decides not to challenge him, and it would be smart of your opponent to challenge and banish the Zeus while they can.
Yeah. But then also he's a possible Maui on 4, right? Like, depending on what they've got,
Yeah.
they'd have to have something really hefty out, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. This goes into a Fox and then gets finished off by a 2/2. That's I don't know if I rate this that highly. I know a lot of people are kind of going a bit crazy over this one for Emerald Amethyst. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't see it myself personally.
I can see where it can work. I think even if you're just able to quest for 2 on 3 with that much willpower, like especially if you're on the play.
Yeah, if you're on the play and this is turning sideways on 4, it's going to be a little tricky for them to deal with.
Yeah.
And then if it does survive that turn, then it can start swinging out into bigger stuff, and then maybe you've really got the value out of it. You get 2 lore out of it, and then the next turn it starts going.
Yeah.
It can come whenever you want, including himself. Whenever this character challenges another character, he gets so you can give it 0 if you want to. I don't know why you would, but yes, it doesn't have to be. It's not the thing you're hitting. It's any characters on the board.
It's not,
Sorry, that's what people were asking. It's not the one you're hitting. It can be anything you like.
Yeah.
So they've got a huge thing down. It can become huge, but I don't know. All right, next up, 2-costed inkable action dodge. Why is it not called duck? Chosen character gains 1 evasive until start your next turn. I plays in draft.
Yeah.
This keeps your bomb alive a turn.
Right.
That's the only thing you're playing this for.
Keeps
my 1/7 drop
cluster.
legendary that I've managed to smash onto the board. This keeps it alive a turn. I don't hate that, but otherwise I don't think it sees play.
The art on this card is so funny to me because it's obvious that he's dodging the cannonball, but it looks like he's just chucking a cannonball.
It does look a bit like he's chucking it, yeah.
It's like, I don't know if Donald's telling me to dodge or if Donald is dodging the cannonball, but
that's a fair point, Elliot. Just going back to Zeus there. You can choose himself and give him 0 if he got hit with Reckless and there's a Prince Eric out. I'll remember that incredibly
Sure.
specific board. But yes, you're right. That's a good way of getting out of it. Sure.
I don't even know why after reading the card in front of everybody, I still thought it was whatever he was challenging. But no, it
Yeah.
is you just
Yeah, 'cause
choose. You
that
just pick
kind of
one.
makes sense. Like, it wouldn't have surprised me if that was its ability, to be honest. It is quite nice that it can be anything, whether it's theirs
Yeah.
or yours. But
Yeah, it's a little better.
yeah, yeah, dodge. This should have been called duck. I'll take that to my grave. This should have been called duck.
Next, we have an uninkable action. Make the potion 2-cost action. Make the potion. Choose one. Banish chosen item, or deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character.
Damaged character.
Damaged character.
Every
Like
time.
that whole time, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, a damaged character.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah.
Yeah, I would like this card because of its flexibility, but it's damaged character, so
Yeah.
probably
I
not as
forget
good.
who it was that I saw on a talk about this and say it seems modular in that there are two things that it can do, but every inkable card in the
Mhm.
game is modular because it can also be inked.
Be inked.
And
Yeah,
this can't, and therefore isn't really gaining you anything.
yeah. It's
Isn't this
just
decent? It's that damage character. That's the thing. Deal 2
yeah.
damage to a damage character. Just stuff just isn't damaged. And if you're making it damaged, then you're doing other stuff that doesn't need this anyway.
And I really wanna highlight that again because I think this is, like, a really important TCG, like, thing, fundamental that a lot of people miss. Like, it is that inkability thing. Like,
Yeah.
this gives you the option to choose 2 things, so it makes you feel like you're gaining, versatility with this card, but all you're doing is trading the versatility of inking this card
Mhm.
with either banishing an item or dealing 2 damage to a chosen damaged character, and I can promise you dealing 2 damage to a chosen damaged character is much worse than being able to ink this card.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so as well. Don't hate banish item for 2 in Emerald, but
No, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It'd be a better card if it was just that, but
just an inkable thing that banish an item. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, next up, one costed uninkable action Ursula's Trickery. Each opponent may choose and discard a card. For each opponent who doesn't, you may draw a card. Uncommon art with art by Matthew Robert Davis. Maybe this is the Ursula I wasn't art on. I forget now. There's so many of them. I get it though. It's a set, right? I don't like giving my opponent the choice because they will always pick the one you don't want them to.
Yep.
If you know they've got something in your hand that you want them to get rid of, they let you draw. If you just need to draw a card, they'll find something to discard. Like they're always just going to go for the one that you don't want if they're a good player.
I agree.
Next,
we have an inkable 1-cost location, Hidden Cove, Tranquil Haven. Move cost of 1, willpower of 6, with the ability Revitalizing Waters. Characters get +1 strength and +1 willpower while here. I don't like this card because it doesn't have lore.
Yeah,
that's kind of the killer for me.
Do you think if they'd have made this a 2-cost and it had a lore on it, do you think it would be any?
I think it might be playable. And the reason I say that is because Pride Lands was played. I don't know, partially that's because you could sometimes reduce the cost of characters with Pride Lands if you met the Pride Lands condition, but a lot of times you weren't actually. And it was just there to like give your characters extra willpower, and it was kind of like a Sleepy's Flute because it was gaining you a lore every turn, except it couldn't be banished by a banish item card. Which is really where the value is in most of these locations, is that there's lore. So like while you're trying to set up the location or while you're keeping your opponent busy with your characters on board that are more threatening, your location is just slowly ticking away. And I don't think the +1/+1 is worth the slots in the deck and relevant enough most of the time for this location.
I think you're right. I think that's going to be the problem, is that it just doesn't gain that lore, and therefore you're having to take a turn off. First original location. I mean, yeah, I suppose it is. It doesn't reference a thing in particular. I hadn't really thought about it too much, but
I don't know what other locations.
Ariel's here, so But I just kind of assumed it was Neverland or something. Or
I just technically all of the locations are just within the realm of Lorcana.
yes, but they all like
They
the
all
Mermaid Lagoon stays
previously,
Neverland.
yeah.
But Tranquil Haven, as far as I know, isn't a
Yeah.
canonical place in Disney. So yeah, maybe it is.
Yeah, I'd have to look at all the other locations. I don't know.
There's another one I'm not sure where it's from. I'm not saying it's original, but there's another location a bit that I don't know where it's from, actually. They're starting to get a bit too deep cuts even for me. All right, we're moving into Ruby. 3 costed, inkable, 2/6 for 2 lore. Beast Wounded. Storyborn Hero. Prince, that hurts. This character enters play with 4 damage. And that's not how he says it. That hurts.
That hurts.
Another Rapunzel target. How many of them do you want?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know that this makes the cut because Rapunzel's not healing this for 4. It's going to heal it for 3.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing about Gothel is it heals for 3, so you get the draw 3. And the reason people are excited about Mulan is because even though it's only healing for 2, you're getting to play it a whole turn earlier than you were getting to play the Rapunzel Gothel combo. Beast is 1 turn later and no extra benefit other than you have a 2/5 with 2 lore on board. And so I don't think that's enough to matter in the decks that care about it for that reason. I am happy to see more cards that just damage themselves, because I've said for a while that I would really like to see more like self-damage synergy and like that just be a deck that cares about damaging itself. I don't know if we have enough to like make that deck a thing. I haven't looked at the set close enough to really know.
It's maybe a Ruby Amethyst one where it moves the damage away from it.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, you can use all of those things, which is interesting. This is one of my favorite arts of the set, though. I think Beast looks so good.
It's really good, and you just see him having, it looks like Flotsam or Jetsams had a gnaw on his foot.
Yeah.
And then running off in the background, look, or slithering off, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Something to think about it. There we go.
We have an inkable 2 cost, 0 for 1 lore. Fazu. I don't know what. Well,
you know what Padre means.
Well, I know it's Mulan's father. I was
okay.
The rest of the.
It's a really weird one because you can't really guess it. It can't quest.
Yeah, it can't quest, and it can. It has to do with Mulan. It cares about Mulan, right? Like having a Mulan character play.
You can exert. Yeah, you exert this to ready a Mulan. The Mulan can't quest.
So this just can't quest at all.
Can't quest itself. It can exert to ready a Mulan, and then the Mulan can't quest.
So then why does this have a lore?
I don't
know. This is such a weird card. This is like so specific. I can't quest.
Oh, he can't challenge? No, questo. The word's questo. Come on, I don't speak Italian. But questo means quest. Can't challenge? Is it really can't challenge?
That's wild. If it's questo and can't challenge.
All right, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, this is weird. Either way, it's still pretty odd.
I mean, that's fine.
What does it matter? It has 0 strength. What does it care if it can challenge?
I gotta go read this card. I think they're just. I'm not saying you're wrong, folks. I am. I kind of am. Okay. What's it called? Fazoo.
If this card can't challenge,
I don't think it's challenge. I think it's can't quest. Questo, like the word is there. Questo.
We don't have the English version of this card.
No.
Questo means this.
Oh, no way, really?
We're going to Google Translate.
Googly is the language guy. That's
always
great.
Aren't you the language guy?
Questo was quest. I don't know any. I know one word.
It does. Italian. It does. It means these.
These.
Or it means this, according to
I know one word in Italian, and it's arrivederci. That's it.
I'm making the pizza. That's what I know. I don't know any Italian.
Okay. Character can't challenge. Ready chosen character named Mulan. She can't quest for the rest of this turn. Well, there you go.
What is this card?
It's just terrible.
A 0 strength character that can't quest, or sorry, can't challenge.
All'avventura. So it's like adventure. That's cool.
Wow.
All right. Why do we care anyway? It's just a crap card.
Bad
Let's
card.
move
Why
on.
did we spend so much time on this card?
All right. Here's a good one.
Go for it.
2-costed, inkable, 2/2 for 1 lore. Flynn Rider, Frenemy. Storyborn hero, Prince. Narrow advantage at the start of your turn. If you have a character in play with more strength than each opposing character, gain 3 lore. Super rare by Mike Moo. I think this is great.
The start of your turn.
The start of your turn is the only thing because it gives them a whole turn to make it not happen.
My only thing, man, is like.
Do you know what? Though?
This card is probably good. This card's probably better later in the game. I'm thinking of this card as like an on-curve thing, but you probably just play this on turn 7 after you've played a Maui or something. And
yeah, I think you're right.
Off of it.
Or the turn before you play a Maui, assuming the Maui survives, it makes them not want to. I don't know. I think Lumiere quite good because of this. Do you know when you do play this on curve against me, who's put down a curse move?
Yeah.
Go, and this comes down, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's really good against Smurfolk.
I can see this being good. I'm not like I feel like I've seen so many people look at this card or talk about this card and just be like, this card is amazing. And I'm not convinced that it's amazing. I think you can easily play around and counterplay this card unless you're playing like an Emerald Ink that just doesn't have high strength characters
or Sapphire or Steel.
Amber.
Yeah, like there's a lot.
Steel has they have high enough strength that you're going to get around normal characters. Yeah. Like if you're playing a Ruby deck where you're intentionally playing high strength characters, then sure. Yeah. But like if you're just playing this because you think like your characters will generally have higher strength.
Yeah, no, I think you kind of have to build into it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a big butts deck in Magic Commander where everything's got like they're all like 0/8s or 1/7s and stuff. And then the commander says that every card their willpower is their strength.
Oh, that's fun.
So like it's and it makes you just reevaluate all of these cards that normally you wouldn't play. So I can see a deck that's just this and then like the 7/5 vanillas we have, because like you get 2 of these down and a 7/5 or whatever. Like it's it's pretty. I think it's pretty good.
Never exert this.
Yeah, you just leave these stood there, right? Like
I think it falls to the same issues though that just like 2 willpower characters fall to, which is that there's lots of removal. Killed. Yeah.
Gustav is a 6/6 for 3. I don't know what the hell card that is.
You played it today.
Oh yeah. It's called Gustav, is he? The giant
like dude? I don't know what this card is.
Oh yeah, Gustav the Giant 6/6 on 3. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that would work. That'd be pretty good. Pretty good curve.
That's great.
On 2, Gustav on 3.
Yeah.
Maui Whale making the comeback.
Maybe. Never went away, baby.
Never went away.
It did. The Goofy, the 10/10.
God, I've never had a 10-cost Goofy played against me.
But now Flynn Rider exists.
Yeah.
All right, next up.
Next up, Mulan, injured soldier, inkable 1-cost 2/3 with 1 lore. Storyborn hero princess, the ability Battle Wound. This character enters play with 2 damage. She'll never give up. Never going to give you up. She'll never let you down.
She never will.
Really good card.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like a just in general play this in every Ruby deck, but the deck that this wants to be played in is a great card for that deck, which is
Yeah.
Amber Ruby. First bleeding Lorcana card. Is she bleeding?
She can't bleed. Is she blood?
I don't see
Is there
blood.
Oh, I don't see blood either. Well, I'm super colorblind.
It
so
would
I
be
can tell.
sick though if there was like an arrow sticking through her abdomen and out of her back.
It's like- yeah. Goofy plus Flynn times 4 is 12 lore. Let's go.
Yeah,
Jonti blood is red. Yeah, I can't see it. I cannot see it.
that's true. I forget you're colorblind all the time.
I don't.
Oh my god, that was
It's good fun today, eh?
yeah, lots of fun with that.
But yeah, I mean, this is it only really goes in Rapunzel unless we do
Yeah.
see this moving damage around thing be a thing. But
Yeah, because otherwise you're probably just playing like a Minnie Mouse or a 2/2
yeah,
instead.
yeah, still very good though. I think. This
There
guy
he
loves
is.
Flynn.
There
6
he is.
costed Inkable 7/5 for 2 lore. Nessus River Guardian Storyborn Villain. Yeah, just a big boy.
Big
Not much
boy.
else to say about him really.
This card makes you uncomfortable.
Just because he's like of his abs.
Yeah, they're just like bulging out, pointed in my direction.
They're coming right at you, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, talk about art that makes you feel uncomfortable. Jesus.
Yeah, this one too. Noi Acrobatic Baby, an inkable 4 cost 4/4 with 1 lore, Storyborn ally. The ability Fancy Footwork. Whenever you play an action, this character takes no damage from challenges this turn. Cool. I guess it's a challenge or a action matters card, but
Yeah.
it can be played around. Your opponent, or you see that you play this, your opponent sees it and just doesn't exert stuff that they don't want banished, I guess.
Yeah, they just know they get a turn. Unless, I mean, what was that one that gives something rush?
The one
Actually,
cost.
one cost action that gives something rush. So on turn 5, this is a 4/4 that doesn't take any damage. Jonti, I believe you called this your new sleep paralysis demon. Did I? Oh, I might have done. Yeah, in my video. I think it's horrific.
That's the enchanted Yin Sid for me this set.
Oh yeah, like he's just eyes just like burning
just
into
like
you.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Action matters, man. I don't know what the actions are that matter.
Yeah, I don't either. That's a good question.
All right. Next up, 3 costed inkable 1/1 with 1 lore. Sisu, daring visitor, evasive, storyborn hero, deity dragon. Bring on the heat. When you play this character, banish chosen opposing character with 1 strength or less. It's weird, really weird stat line. I actually think this might be quite good though. I don't know.
See, I'm off this card, and I see a lot of people on this card
I think
say
it hits a lot.
Does it? What does it
Yeah.
hit? It hits Curse Merfolk, it hits Hiram, it hits Flynn, it hits the 2-drop
Rapunzel.
Ursula, it hits Rapunzel.
It hits
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mickey.
Oh yeah. Is this better or worse than Brawl?
You know, worse.
I think this is worse. I think it's
Yeah,
worse.
Unless you really want to shift. Little
Like,
Cindy.
yeah.
Little Cindy. Little Cindy's probably already done. What do you mean? Who the hell
know,
is this? Sisu. She's got like 30 cards in Lorcana.
100 Sisu cards in Lorcana.
This is her human form, but Sisu is the dragon from Raya and the Last Dragon. But she can take human form to keep hidden from people.
Yeah, thinkable. I might play this card, but I don't know. It feels so. I don't know. A lot of the cards we just named are staples in a lot of inks, but I just feel like when that card's not in play, this card's just dead in your hand, right? Like you don't want to play.
That's why, it needs to be inkable, or it needs to have a good enough body that you don't mind playing it. I think the ability is good, but it's probably not good enough to have just a 1/1 evasive left behind on turn 4.
Also, an argument that I heard towards break, which I think still applies to this, is that like most of the cards that it hits has already done the thing, like when it's played, especially the ones that it trades out to. So I still think it's worth Playing a card, or I keep calling it break. Playing a card like brawl,
Yeah,
even if
brawling.
that's the case, and same thing here with Sisu. The issue is, I think there's way more things that you hit going from one strength to two strength
Oh, sure.
versus than just the one strength.
Yeah.
Because like your Sapphire opponent is not gonna not play Hiram because they know you're playing Sisu. Like they're
Yeah.
playing Hiram and they're drawing their cards, but then it's
Yeah.
like at that point they drew their cards and
Yeah. You're just stopping it go again.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you taught me off it. All right. Next up.
Inkable or not? Nope. It's an uninkable 4-cost 3/6 Tong Survivor Storyborn ally with Reckless Beefy Boy.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't see constructed play.
Yeah. It's probably draftable.
Yeah,
It's removal, I guess. Yeah, the removal. It's
kind of
stop something questing for a turn, probably.
it.
Like something will hold it back.
Yeah. It stops your opponent from questing. Is it? I wonder how good that actually is in draft or like limited because I've had games where I've had situations like this where I just slam a really big character, and so then my opponent just doesn't exert anything.
Mhm.
And then we both play cards until one of us has
You can
enough
quest
lore
for
on
20.
board to quest for 20. The game's
Yeah.
over. So it's like,
Yeah. It can be a problem, yeah. What is this? Emerald, right? With all this uninkable shenanigans going on. We do get to some better Ruby stuff, I'm sure. This isn't it. 3-costed inkable item. The plank.
the plank.
Walk. 2 and banish the item to either banish chosen hero or ready chosen villain. So banish chosen hero, let's be honest, is the one you're going to pick there. But even still, 5 ink to to play Dragonfire, which is 5 ink. I don't know what you. Yeah, I suppose it spreads the cost over 2 turns. You can play it on 4.
The flavor text is funny. I just like it.
Lifetime view. Yeah, it's good art as well.
Yeah, I like the art.
I think it's very good.
Whoop.
Got it. every time he does it.
We got an inkable 1-cost location in Ruby, training grounds, impossible pillar. A move cost of 1 with 5 willpower. The ability strength of mind, pay 1 ink. Chosen character here gets +1 strength this turn. I think it's cool. To my knowledge, you can pay 1 ink as many times as you want to keep giving character strength. So you can just boost it as much as you want. I don't think it's good though. It doesn't have lore. I've already given my spiel about locations and having lore. That's why I don't think it's good.
The first one where you actually have to pay something as well. Like it's even
you
play this for 1, you've moved something for 1, you've still got to put one more
still
into
got to put
ink
into it. Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, I should just get it, I think.
Yeah.
All right, we move on. Boop. All right. Totally thought this was Anna when I saw the art.
I mean, I had no idea who this was.
It's Anna's mother. It's Anna Elsa's mother, but it just looks like Anna. 4-costed inkable, 3/3 with 1 lore. Iduna, caring mother. When this character is banished, you may put this card into your ink or face down exerted. So this is the rule now. If you're a maternal figure and you die in the movie,
you're sacrificed to the inkwell.
Yeah, like thematically, it's good. There's a few of these now. This is better than what was there was a guy
James.
James
from Princess and the Frog. I think.
Yeah,
Disney really needs to reevaluate what they're doing with all the moms. They're just killing them.
That's got to go. They're either dead or evil.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's the thing. Mother's Day, was this Sunday.
Yeah.
And, I wanted to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day and then pair it with a fun Disney Mother's gift, but I'm like, all of the Disney mothers are evil. This is not I can't post anything wholesome.
Well, they're doing as good, I guess. But, otherwise, I don't care about this card.
Me neither.
Are there many other mentors? Not really. And there's certainly nothing
about this card
about him. Yeah.
Duna?
Don't care about it, Duna.
Olaf, trusting companion, inkable 1-cost 1/2 with 1 lore, storyborn ally with support. It has 1 strength with support. I don't like it.
It's Hey. We got Hey from set 1 in amber.
Hey. Yeah, I guess this is Hey. side
But
characters.
it's a shift target now, I guess. But I don't think the shift one is
With a
great.
card that does like the same thing.
Yeah, it gives one to everything, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This Chad Triton forecasted Inkable 3/4 with one law. Surfs up, dude.
Oh my
Dreamborn
God.
Prince.
I just
Superior,
sorry, keep
go
going,
on.
keep going.
Superior swimmer, gains evasive, and keeper of Atlantica. When one of your locations is banished, you can put it in the inkwell.
Okay, sorry.
Go on.
This isn't related at all to the to the effect on the card. I wish I'd prepared this. There's a great picture of me when I'm like much younger, like a teenager. I went on a trip, a family trip, and I got to swim with dolphins, and like they took a picture of like me with the dolphin. I'm like kissing the dolphin.
Yeah.
It would look so good. It would be so funny, like overlaid with this card. I'm gonna have to find it.
Do you look like that?
I don't look like
Oh.
that, but it's like me in much better shape than I am now, like next to a dolphin.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway, sorry. It has evasive on your turn, locations in Sapphire, banished. Yeah, I don't think this is good.
Triton himself seems to really care about locations. There's a few now that care about locations. How many locations do you think I'm putting out that I care enough for them to go to my inkwell? Like
yeah,
how
like
many locations am I putting out that like they're
early
dead
enough
on 6 or whatever, ramping me to nowhere?
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about Dreamborn. He's Dreamy Born, right?
Yeah, dreamy.
Yeah.
I wish I could grow a beard like that.
I wish I
I'm
could
working
grow
on the hair.
beards.
Yeah, I can't really grow a beard. I can kind of get a goatee going.
Go ahead.
Tuck Tuck, Curious Partner, Inkable, 2 costs, 2/3, 1 lure. Storeborn Ally, Vanilla. It's a vanilla 2/3, 2 cost.
Great art.
Yeah, cute art.
What's he stood on?
Good question. I don't know. A bunch of mushrooms around. The uncontroversial Tuck Tuck. Some
controversial Tuck Tuck?
They're not wrong.
Is the other one controversial? Is the other one controversial? No?
I don't know. The only other one that I know of is the reckless one.
No, there's one in this that moves himself and something else to
the evasive to the location.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more rules stuff that.
Is it? I missed that one. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and I think Alan Tudyk has the most Lorcana cards as a voice actor. Does he do Tuk Tuk? Yeah, Hey, Wesselton. A few others, right? Where he just kind of goes blah, blah. One costed uninkable item, Ice Block, Chilly Labor, exert. Chosen character gets -1 strength. Whatever. So it's 5 past midnight. I need cards to be doing more than this for me to give a crap about them.
Yeah, sorry. Whoop. Okay. Inkable 3 cost, location, winter camp, medical tent. Move cost of 1, willpower 8 with the ability help the wounded whenever character quests while here, remove up to 2 damage from them. If they're a hero character, remove up to 4 damage instead. It also has 1 lore. I actually don't really hate this card. I don't know that it's good enough to see play in anything, but it's like not a bad card. I don't think.
The thing is, you have to quest to heal them, but if they've got damage on them and they're not dead, it means you've challenged into something. So like you've got to find something that wants to challenge but also doesn't mind questing, and I don't know about that one.
It's kind of weird.
This is the other one. I've got no idea what this is from.
I just assumed Frozen because it's snowy, but that could be entirely wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it is. Is there might be a Mulan thing?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Or it's just another one where it's like we're going up the mountain and this is a thing now and it's its own place. Winter camp, medical tent. Like none of those words I could find that mean anything.
Yeah,
it's been so long since I've seen Mulan. There is an avalanche in Mulan. It's from Mulan. Yeah, cool. I just don't. I think I've seen Mulan like twice in my life, and they were both when it came out, pretty much. So I just don't know enough about it.
It's been a while.
I remember there being an avalanche in it. Jonti, you look like you're about to pass out. we still take a look at the remaining chances at the end. I don't actually have the chances loaded up. I'll be honest, exhausted. I mean, it's reveal week, right? And we got products coming today as well, but we're getting there. We've got a few more cards to look at.
We'll make it.
We'll get there. All right. 5 costed, uninkable, 3/5, 3 law, Piglet, sturdy swordsman, Dreamborn hero with resist 1 and not so small anymore. While you have no cards in your hands, this character can challenge ready characters. Legendary card with art by Alex Accorsi. I absolutely love the look of this card. I don't think it's very good, unfortunately. It's such a cool card, though.
Yeah, I would hate the card less if it didn't die to Medusa. But yeah, I was so mad at myself after the main stage when this got revealed, because this was the one legendary we were still missing, right? We knew all the legendaries except for Piglet. And I was sitting there in main stage reacting to all the cards with Rochelle and Meg, and I didn't even comment on the hat, the helmet on Piglet, and how much it resembles a bucket hat. Like, come on.
Yeah, he's there ready to go to his store champs and stomp over noobs.
Yeah, that's not what bucket hats are for, man.
Friendly, in a lovely manner.
In a lovely manner. And we're here to have fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is great. It needs to be if this was a 4/5, this is the Medusa problem, right?
It's still tough because you need to not have cards in hand, and
it's just not a good position to be in, right?
It's kind of it's just, wow. The more I look at this card, the weirder it gets. It has resist, and you don't want cards in your hand, but it has 3 lore. So you want to be questing with this. The abilities entirely revolved around challenging characters. I don't know. This is weird. Why does it have 3 lore if I'm challenging a bunch of characters?
Yeah, this character can challenge. So, like, it'll quest until you get your hand empty. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Just, I want it to be great, but I just don't think it is. Yeah. There's nothing on play, abilities. Like, okay, great, I can challenge ready things. I've got no cards in my hand. This is a terrible place to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind, Piglet. Still think you look great.
I love the art. I think the art's great.
He's my wait right here.
Is he gonna walk back with a colander on his head? I'm saying yes. And he's gonna say something about his cosplay. Oh,
I'm back.
What did you just go get?
My phone. It has been a tradition of mine now to set my face enchanted as my phone backdrop, and he's there.
Yeah, I love the enchanted Piglet
because I think I've settled on him as my one to get. But I don't really hold playability to account with my enchanted. I just want something that I think looks cool.
Yeah. Next we have Yao, Imperial Soldier, inkable 4 cost 2/5 with 1 lore and Challenger +2. I mean, not a bad, statted character or card. Probably not good enough to see constructed play, but
I don't think so. No, but otherwise not too bad.
Nope.
4 costed uninkable Avalanche. Deal 1 damage to each opposing character, and you may banish chosen location. Hi. For 1 more, doing 2 damage over grab your swords at singable, I think is still probably the play.
Yeah, this one's a weird one because obviously grab your swords is a great card. It's still played. And yeah, it's just 1 cost more to deal the 2 damage to everything, which is really meaningful. Like the difference between 1 damage and 2, and even the difference between 2 damage and 3 can be super big.
Mm-hmm.
Are locations relevant enough, like that you want the reduction in damage for this card, and grab your swords is a song. I think if this was a song, it would be a little bit easier to swallow, but
Avalanche.
Avalanche. Anyway, yeah, it like having to pay for this for 4 and not be able to sing it. I don't know. I don't think it's any
No.
better than grab your sword and then playing another card that can banish a location.
Sure. I think I agree. All right, next up.
Triton's Decree, uninkable, 1-cost action. Each opponent chooses one of their characters and deals 2 damage to them. I don't like this. It gives your opponent the option to choose who they damage. They're obviously going to damage the thing that is least impactful.
I tell you what this is great for.
Bell and moving damage.
Going last in a multiplayer game, turn 1.
One drop. Yeah.
Screw you
I
all.
guess. Yeah, I guess.
Going last in multiplayer, turn 1 play.
Yeah.
I absolutely guarantee
That
it.
is
Every
pretty
single
funny.
one of them will put a 2-2, 2-2, 2-2. Boom. Go ahead.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it really depends on the boards. Anytime the opponent gets to choose, they're not going to pick the thing you want, unless it's the only thing there, and then sure,
it's another hurdle to jump over.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then lastly, finishing on a good one.
Yeah.
1-costed inkable item, Fortisphere. Resourceful. When you play this item, you may draw a card. An Extract of Steel. You can pay 1 and banish it. Chosen character of yours gains Bodyguard until the start of your next turn. So another Lorcana original item, I believe. That like these spheres are a thing.
Yeah, spheres coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, like that's obviously something that hopefully they figure out. But yeah, there's the Vitalosphere and the Fortisphere. But I honestly, that second ability could not be there. This is basically Corpscreen Steel. It's you play this, draw 1. It just gives you an item on the board that you can then pop with Haram or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 8 Pawp. 8 Pawp is a thing. There's a deck in Magic, and I forget what it's called now, but it's 8 something, and it's 8 copies of a similar card that does the same thing. It's a modern deck that uses goblins. I can't think what it is. Somebody might know in the chat. But yeah, this is 8 Pawp. I genuinely think there's a Sapphire Steel deck that's like
definitely
runs 8 of these.
This turns up the consistency of Sapphire Steel by a million, just because. I mean, you might still play Develop Your Brain. I don't know, but you're definitely playing 4 Fortisphere and 4 Popsicles, and you're always laning the Hiram.
Yeah,
or Hiram, however you say it. Haram.
Yeah. Haram. Yeah, I think this is good. What these spheres doing?
I don't know. I can't really even tell what this sphere is. Like, what's going on with the side of it? It looks like, is it crashing into the ground? Like, what's happening? I don't know. Looks like it's cracked on the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I kind of hope all of this sort of stuff eventually comes together and it all means something then, and it's not just, we're not getting a lost,
Getting a bunch of balls.
All being balls. All right, there we go. That's all of them. 204 cards. What are you most excited about?
What am I most excited for? Oh, geez. I'm most excited about probably Philoctetes. The steel,
the hero,
it's
a silent. You haven't got to pronounce the C. It's a silent C.
What?
Philoctetes.
Sure. Whatever. I call him Phil.
Phil. That's fine as well.
I'm excited for that one just because I don't know. I think it's a fun card. It's Heroes Matter. I think there's some fun stuff you can do with it, and that one thing I am kind of excited about. It's a simple card, but Ling and Lumiere, like we mentioned earlier, just 2 cards that give everything +1 strength, or Lumiere gives everything +1 strength, and then Ling gives all heroes +1 strength. But I'm eager to see if that changes the whole dies to Medusa thing or not.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. Is it worth playing a set of 2 drops just to help bigger stuff stick around because of 1 card?
I see it more as like right before you expect your opponent to play Medusa, you throw down the Lumiere and say, "Ha,
Aha! Now your Medusa's offline.
Yeah.
Or it comes down and kills the Lumiere. I suppose it gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Are you both getting to open boxes Friday? Or Jonti, do you get to do early for store singles? Yeah, I'm going to open about 15 boxes tomorrow.
Jealous.
Super excited.
Very jealous of you.
Not all for me though.
Yeah, I don't work at a game store, so I gotta get mine like the rest of you normals people and get it on Friday.
Are you lined up on Friday though? Have you know what you're doing?
Yeah. I have one. The only thing I can pre-order for my LGS is a booster box and starter decks. I'll buy one starter deck because we're doing a starter deck league for the first 4 weeks, like we did for the past set. But yeah, I'll have a booster box that I'll open. I'm gonna run by the LGS after work on Friday at noon, grab it, rush home, hopefully pick up an Illumineer's Quest if they have some.
Yeah.
And plan on making a bunch of videos. Expect a booster box opening video and Trove opening video and a Illumineer's Quest opening video and playthrough. I wanna do a video of me playing through it blind for the first time. So we'll see if I can get all that out. Before Atlanta.
Yeah,
probably not, but we'll see.
All right. And then, next week we'll probably just talk about the launch weekend and see how that went and see what everyone pulled and whether they managed to get hold of quests and what have you. And then it'll be Atlanta prep for you, really. That's going to be the main thing, eh?
Yeah, it's going to be finally pushing the brakes on all these videos I'm trying to do and make myself really sit down. And I'm really just planning on doing like a gauntlet with one of the. I think I know what deck I'm bringing.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I'm going into Atlanta. It would be awesome to like top and qualify for nationals, and it would be a great goal to have. My expectations are super low, people. I have not played enough Lorcana to play against some of the best Lorcana players in the world that are going to be there. So I'll be happy if I do well enough to get a Let It Go promo. I think that would be a really cool thing. But even that's hard to get because I think when there were 512 players, I can do the math real quick. Top 64 over 512 is, it's roughly, it's the top 12% or top 12.5% of the people playing that day, which is, difficult to get into. And I imagine it'll be roughly the same for the 2,000 people that are playing there now.
Yeah.
So it'll be a grind. It'd be cool if I can get that. Otherwise, I'm just going to have fun. Anybody that's watching or listening, if you're in Atlanta, please come say hi. I'm going to be wearing, I don't have it next to me, but I'll be wearing the same bucket hat, the Stitch bucket hat that you see me in all the photos that I go to tournaments in. It should be very easy to spot me. I'd love to meet as many people as possible. I ordered stickers today, so I've got stickers I can be handing out too. And I ordered a bunch of Helgas and Stitches to just sign and like give out to people who want them. So if anybody wants any, or not, tell me. You can come say hi. I'd love to see everybody. And I'm going to have a good time playing some side events. See everybody.
Good fun. I'm very jealous. And
are you going to Chicago? You know if you're doing that yet?
I'm on the wait list, so I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. Toronto is the main one I really want to get to because I can literally drive there. I mean, I can drive to Chicago, but it's a lot easier. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. All right, but yes, that's your week in ink. Mine's the same. We're going to open loads of cards and have fun. So yeah, that's it. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Hold on, I can do this properly now. I press this button here and then this button here. All right. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, cool. Until next week in ink.
That was this week in ink.